I've got the program, so I could actually race if I wanted to, but no, I'm just watching from there.
Alright guys, we are live. Welcome to tonight's stream. I'll hand you over to Nick and Zach.
Hello and welcome everybody. Good evening. This is the Gentlemen's Racing Club presented by Central Coast Subaru and LJ Hooker Gaindar. They are doing the production car series. You join us live from a virtual Road America and Porsche Cayman GT4s. My name is Nick and I'll be joined in the commentary box with Zach.
Evening Nick, evening everybody, and Zach Eve, and two iconic racetracks to get us through the night in this time of self-isolation. Road America first up, Spa second up. It's going to be a great night.
That it will be. These Porsche Cayman GT4s have just been a new release on iRacing and everybody's loving them. Mid-engine, rear drive, GT4 style cars. Pretty close to stock standard road cars, and we got a small but cozy field of 13 cars, and looks like Mr. Michael Hammond is on the pole.
That's not really a surprise given how we dominated the qualifying in the rally cars last week, is it?
Yeah, he seems to go well in these things. Well, he goes well in just about everything. So on the pole is Mr. Michael Hammond. Second place is Shane Witt with Michael Porter in third. Paul Nichols in fourth, Sean Pidwell in fifth, Dean Williams in sixth, Dylan O'Toole in seventh, Blake Urquhart in eighth, and he's actually listed on my screen here as lid, but that's actually Josh Millard, because he ended up on his lid during one of the practice sessions and the guys have not stopped giving him grief. In ninth, David Farrelly in 10th, Gerard Daly in 11th, Chris Polly in 12th, and Wayne Lawson rounding out the field in 13th as they come down into Canada Corner.
Road America, such a famous circuit. We were only talking last week when we had the NASCARs and the TA2s at Road Atlanta, how nice it'd be to see them at Road America. Well, we're not seeing the NASCARs at Road America tonight, we're seeing them at Spa. But great to have some racing at Road America incorporated into this. Of course, every year it hosts a round of the United Sports Car Championship. I think the second tier NASCAR series heads there, the IndyCar series heads there. A famous track, a long track, built for speed, but there's also some technical sections in there that'll make or break the lap as well. Yeah,
that's right. All right, funnily enough, ironically, the Porsche safety car coming in, leading the Porsches up the hill to start the race. Here we go. Rolling start this week. It looks like Michael Hammond has the green.
And already firing. Blitz the field on the run to the green flag into the first corner. And already you see, Nick, the field has gone from that side-by-side start format to nose to tail, line astern, one straight line through the first corner, which makes for a clean first corner, which is more than what we could say for Lime Rock Park last week.
Yes, exactly. I think these guys know it's a long lap. It's a long race, and they've got their thinking caps on tonight.
And they certainly need that. So just to reiterate, Nick, for the benefit of those that are just joining the stream, what's our race format and duration tonight?
So tonight's race is a single car race of 40 minutes around Road America. It looks like they will have to, or they may not have to do a pit stop. It depends on the fuel burn. And yeah, just a single car race. So no class cars or anything like that this week.
So basically what you're saying is it's one in all in, hell for leather, and if you're not first, you're last. Is that...
That's pretty much it.
So it's a 14-turn circuit, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the famous Road America. Iconic in so many ways. We've had one spinner there towards the back of the field as they head round the sweeper, turn 9 and 10, what they call the carousel. So another link to the iconic Lakeside Park that we were talking about last week when we were racing at Lime Rock. And now that begins the run up towards turn 11.
Yeah, come through the kink. Oh, there's a car off at the kink and into the wall. Who is that?
Big time.
That was actually Paul Nichols. Central Coast Subaru's own Paul Nichols. As we watch Mikey Hammond go into Canada Corner there. One of the best overtaking spots on the track. Let's see how he's recovering.
We'll have to mention this when Paul joins us for a chat a little bit later on.
Yeah, I'm just watching the Twitch live stream with the track map there. Car number 7 is going again, so looks like he's gathered himself up and going. Looks like there's another car off as well. But we'll see. As Mikey Hammond completes lap number 1, looks like, yeah, everybody's going again, so that's good to see.
Yeah, agreed. You want everybody in the right. You don't want retirements on the first lap. It's too long a race to warrant that. And these guys are giving up time on their Friday night. They're being rewarded with a very good track to race on. And thankfully, they've all common sense has prevailed on the first lap. Everyone's kept running. That's what we like to see. So we're being rewarded with a good show, with everyone getting through that first lap. Not all of them unscathed, but not in a state where we had to see any retirements, and that's a very good thing going forward.
That's right. So there will be, I think, a bit of what we called a clampdown, as we said last week. But this particular clampdown is where they bunch the field up as well. So it gives the guys someone to race towards the end as well, because it starts to get spread out. As on my screen, I'm just watching Dave Farrelly, who's one of the other cars that ended up in the wall. He's just taking his pit stop now, so I dare say the guys might have to pit. But the safety car or the clampdown will bring them all back into play as well, because it's a long lap, and I hope they don't go a lap down.
Well, this is exactly right. It'd be interesting to get an indication of what our lap times are like around here. The last lap I see there for one of our cars on our live stream here was 2 minutes 30. So that gives you a fair indication that it's a long lap, and therefore you'd have to lose a lot of time to go a lap down here. So hopefully the boys can get back out there, stay on the lead lap, and then rejoin the field, as you say, at the back of at the tail of it during that clamp down situation, which we'll have a little bit later on in proceedings. Good dice going on here, three-way battle through the back section of the circuit. Trying to pick up who that might be.
Yeah, just trying to see the numbers.
Is it? It might be Dylan O'Toole, Chris Polly, and Blake Urquhart.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just clicking on it now. Yeah. Wow, Dylan O'Toole's car, very nice. Oh, he's just getting a bit sideways there through Thunder Valley as they come up to the last turn. It looks like Blake Urquhart. Oh no, sorry, Blake Urquhart was getting sideways. Dylan O'Toole leading the three of them.
Across the line they go one more time. 35 minutes left on the clock here at Road America tonight.
The group didn't pick short tracks tonight.
No, they didn't, and that's not a bad thing. You've got to have a mix to give yourself an indication of, you know, the best driver across a
variety of
broad
tracks.
scope. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you look at the IndyCar series, mate, they have street circuits, they have permanent road courses, they have ovals, both long and short, and it gives, you know, it provides a tremendous test for the competitors, for the drivers that are participating in that championship, which is why you see someone that's a jack of all trades more often than not winning the championship. 2014 was the exception to the rule, because Will Power, who is known to not be as good on ovals as he is on the road courses or on the street circuits, he come through and won the championship. So let's hope that by the end of the series, I think, what is it, 10 weeks this series?
Yes.
Oh, big moment there. Where was that? Down at turn 8, I should say, on the run to the carousel. And that was a nasty little moment, but thankfully no one damaged to a point where they've not been able to get back on the track and get back going, which was good to see. But that's what I was saying. Because we're running such a mixed circuit, long, short, in different parts of the world, and we're running different cars week in, week out as well in the Gentlemen's Racing Club, it's going to give us a good indication of who is the jack of all trades by the end of this. We expect Hammer to be up there. We expect a few others to be there or thereabouts. Tonight's obviously a smaller field than you've come to expect, but it's going to be that consistent bloke that's the jack of all trades that's been able to adopt to the different tracks, to the different cars, the best that's going to come through and win this championship.
Exactly. It's good to see that even though there's a small field, they're all in little clusters, all having a bit of a ding-dong battle there, and which makes it more exciting. There's nothing worse than that being in a race and ending up just doing hot laps by yourself.
Yeah, running a qualifying simulation. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Hey, just quickly to update at the front of the field, the fastest lap of the race appears to be now Hammond with the 2:19.14. He's opened up a nearly 5-second lead on the rest of the pack. So let's see if he can put it all together this week, because it didn't go to script last week at Lime Rock Park.
Yeah, and it didn't go to script either at Road Atlanta. He actually quit out of that race as well. So he's got a bit of a gap now. So he has 4.5 seconds in hand on my timing screen as he crossed the line the last time through, over Shane Witt with Michael Porter in third. Those three seem to just be trundling along, and then there's a big gap, and then you got a whole cluster of cars over the next positions 4 to 8, which includes Dean Williams, Chris Polly, Sean Pidwell, Dylan O'Toole, and Blake Urquhart. So that seems to be where the action is. And then you have the other guys, Paul Nichols, Josh, Dave Farrelly, and Gerard Daly, all hanging out the back after their forced pit stops, so to speak.
I was just looking at the bottom of our screen there as they head round the carousel. We were riding with Pidwell and O'Toole, and one of them's just had a nice little sideways moment coming out of turn 8. It was the latter. It was O'Toole. So Pidwell's got himself a little bit of breathing space in all of that now, and he can go out in pursuit of Polly up there in 5th position. So 5th, 6th, and 7th on your screen there at the moment, folks. With our eyes, they were on 6th in Polly, but now they've gone back to a battle further back in the pack.
Well, good. Chris Polly there, up from 12th up to 5th, so good on him. Keeping clean, staying out of all the drama, and just doing consistent laps.
Great start.
This particular car has your traction controls, your ABSs, and the like. So for the gentleman race, a bit marketed similar to the GT3, just a little bit slower, a little bit less horsepower, and more, I guess, closer to regular day cars. In real life, in the GT4 class, there's all sorts of things, from Honda NSXs all the way through to Ford Mustangs. So
yeah,
this should be it's a good introductory class. I haven't driven this car, but from all accounts, it's quite oversteery, and a lot of people do lean on the electronic systems to keep them in check.
Just having a look at our timing screen. If you're having a look at the main feed there, folks, the top of the leaderboard is on your screen there. And Witt has Witt has the lead, and Hammond's just dropped down out of it. He's in the pits at the moment. So is that the compulsory pit stop that he's undertaking there right now, Nick?
Must have been, yeah.
I was just having a look at the lap and time counter there. 14 laps in 29 and 3/4 minutes. They'll be pushing time certain here, I think.
Yeah.
Given the lap times we've seen thus far, especially once you throw in a clamp down. So keep an eye on that. As much as I'm not a fan of time certain, but yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that tonight in this instance. Long track, same time, it's a to or throw situation there. Now, I'm just having a look at those of you joining here on the Facebook feed. Hello to Bradley Carr. Good evening to you. Yep, and I'm sure anyone that's tuning in on Twitch will be enjoying the broadcast as well. Great to have you along for the ride this Anzac Day Eve. We'll all be up nice and early tomorrow morning.
End of driveways.
In the driveway, the candles and everything else, the hairs in the back of the neck will be standing up when the last post plays tomorrow morning. And we're thinking of our Anzacs on what's going to be a very different Anzac day. I've just been putting a radio show together for locally here in Ipswich tomorrow morning, Nick, and I've been saying right throughout, it's a very different Anzac day. We can't do our usual, go to the races, go to the footy, watched it on TV even. We have no ability to go and play a game of two up. It's a very different Anzac Day. But thankfully, we've got iRacing, and that's a very good thing. More pit stops undertaking here at the moment.
It's a very fast entry to the pit lane, but it's a very long pit lane. So
yeah, it's a long transit.
Go. Yes. Just looking on Facebook, George Coolig has joined. I've convinced him to actually, for the TA2s later on, to actually share his TA2 paint job with one of our drivers. We'll see that in the upcoming race. So
very nice, very nice. I wonder what Mr. Whitaker's going to go with this week. He would have been hard at work with the new livery.
I've already seen it. It's actually quite good. So we'll him and his brother. Yeah, but you can't miss him again.
Good. We look forward to seeing that a little bit later on. Now, having a look on our screen here, side by side, this battle continues. It's the battle for Polly and Porter. Or is it Polly and Pidwell? Polly and Pidwell, my apologies.
Yep.
So it's third and fourth in the motor race right here, right now, and nothing separating them. Polly's got the advantage, if you like, but it's only by about 2 car lengths. There's not much in this right here. On the run down to turn 8.
This carousel is such a good corner. I don't think there's too many cars that don't enjoy it.
And I don't think there are too many of us that don't enjoy watching cars go through that corner. It's one of those signature corners in world motorsport. When you look at all the great tracks, of which Road America is one, they've all got a signature corner. For Mount Panorama, it's the Chase when you come out of Conrod Straight. That when you look at Spa, we were going to later, it's Eau Rouge. For Road America, it's Carousel.
Useless trivia for you as well.
Yes,
this
mate.
corner that the boys are coming up to is called Canada Corner. So named because it's the closest point on the track to Canada.
I like
useless trivia that I've learned while watching Indy cars.
Nick, I love useless trivia. That's fantastic. Some of your best work right there.
The most northern point of the circuit.
Yes, of course. Road America located for memory in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. So here's a pit stop now on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen. So Polly pulls in. Pidwell takes over the position for
Hammond going past on the front stretch.
Good evening to Sean Evans, who's joined live on Facebook as well. Look forward to seeing him back on the racetrack at some point in time, as we do everybody later in the year. And hopefully Rob might be able to give us a little bit of an update with regards to all that at the end of the broadcast, because I know he comes in from time to time to have a chat to us. Of course, there's a lot of talk around at the moment, Nick, that community sport will be one of the things allowed to recommence when some of these restrictions get lifted by the federal government on May 14th. Hopefully, motor racing falls into that at the domestic level here at Queensland Raceway. Our fingers are firmly crossed.
Well, it is community, so I'm hoping it does.
Yeah, exactly right. And I know one of QR's employees, Kaylin, she might be watching at some point tonight. We say hello to her. She took a photo on her Instagram feed on Monday morning going back into the office, and it was like a kid in the candy store. She was so happy to be back at work. Not many people say that, obviously. But yeah, obviously there's something happening there that we're looking forward to hopefully having more clarification on a little bit later on. Now, let's have a look at this. This race ongoing, 12 laps left, 24 and a half minutes on the clock. We've gone green all the way thus far. There will be a clampdown situation at some point here, and we're just waiting for that to be initialised. The race at the moment settled into a rhythm. Leader is Witt, second is Porter, third is Pidwell, fourth is Hammer Time, of course, but he's 25 seconds off the lead.
I think he's the first car to have stopped.
That was my thought, yeah.
So it looks like just the top 3 are left to... I'm going to click on one of those top 3 guys to see what they're doing. Looks like Shane Witt's gone past another lap, Michael Porter's gone past another lap, and Sean is going to go past another lap. So, Mikey Hammond flashing his lights, he's closing in on Sean Pidwell there.
So I dare say getting our attention in the process.
I would dare say he's he's the highest pitted car.
Not really a surprise, I have to say.
He
He's been
seems
the
to have
form man thus far.
exactly what I was about to say. He seems to have performed, especially in these style of cars.
Just want to give a quick shout out to SHR Race Labs. Thanks for following. Just saw that pop up. And those that are watching from Twitch, you'll notice that I've got the new emotes up, which I'm having a lot of fun using. All right,
I like your one.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I'll leave you back to it.
All right, so we got the clampdown period now. It's just started.
That was a paid political announcement by Robert Hazeltine, by the way.
Spoken and written by Robert Hammond.
That's right.
All right, so it looks like they're in clampdown, doing 70 kilometers an hour, going through turn 5, bunching them all up. Maybe they're. I'm just reading back through the rules. There is a safety car enabled. So I guess what I was getting at is they don't necessarily have to have a safety car, but it is enabled, or in this case, a clampdown. It does say 1 times compulsory pit stop, so I dare say it's going to hurt these top 3 of Shane Witt, Michael Porter, and Sean Pidwell, who will have to peel off at some point.
Before Rob chimed in there, I was going to say it's interesting to see the difference in strategy between those that are running a long stint at the top and those that are running a short stint and then a long stint home. And in the case of those that went long stint first, it is going to hurt them, unfortunately, here. Unless they come in this time by and can successfully get back onto the tail of the field before we go back green.
Yeah, personally, I'm one of those people that like to dig when everybody zags. If everybody comes in early, I'm one that likes to stay out and see what I can get some clear track and try and jump some people. So we'll see how this all plays out now for these guys, because they're going to bunch the field up, and maybe they'll have the fresh tyres and the speed to get through. Who knows? Just quickly, while we got a bit of a lull here, just going to say on Facebook, guys, make sure you leave us a comment, hit the like button, and also share it around on Facebook, guys. Free live motorsport. And then for those of you on Twitch, we're getting a lot more business on Twitch tonight. Make sure you leave us a comment and hit that subscribe button up the top. We currently are showing 8 laps down, just over 16 minutes as they cross the line of the last lap. So we'll see what happens now. Last car.
Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it, Nick? Obviously, this clampdown lap's going to chew a lot more time out of the race than the usual green flag running. And we are looking at the clock on the top left corner of your screen there, folks, or top left of the graphic at the top of the screen, I should say. It says 20 minutes and 16 seconds to go and 10 laps. Now, we know by having a look at Hammer's lap board and a few others as well that the times are on the other side, the wrong side of 2 minutes. So it's going to be interesting here to see if time gets the better of us or if we can get those whole 10 laps in.
Just looking at the track.
9 laps as it will be when we go across the line next time by, I should say.
Yes.
Yes, Rob. Good on you, Rob.
Awesome.
Nick?
I was just going to,
I was going to say, you were about to say what?
Looking at the track map, they're just bunching everybody up and they come back onto the front stretch, but we still got Dylan O'Toole catching up to the back of the line. He's almost there now, and Dave Farrelly, who I'm watching, spin out. So a couple cars getting their laps back. It's going to bunch everybody back up. It's going to be interesting.
I was just told it was muted. Is that better, guys? Can you let me know if that's working?
It's not uncommon for Rob to mute his microphone, so I'm told, when he starts his streams. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear. Now, don't forget, folks, stick around. We're crossing continents at the end of this to go into Europe and go to one of the famed circuits of world motorsport, Spa-Francorchamps. Last week the show was purely based in North America. This week we're going to Europe for Spa-Francorchamps. and the famous Belgian circuit for the TA2 NASCAR portion of the evening. So Road America now, far later, circuits of 6 kilometres or more are the order of the day this week in the Gentlemen's Racing Club. Hello to Cliff Sedgley, who's joined via Facebook Live as well. He's joined the Doadrift live feed there. A legend of the Track Attack XL Cup ranks in these parts as the field bunches up again. Heading down turn 2, I want to say.
Another little bit of useless trivia.
Yes, mate.
It's actually turn 5, this bottom turn at the end of this second straight.
Oh no, that's yes. No, I missed something there while I was looking at the Facebook feed and everything else. And the first thing I missed was which corner we're up to, because that first part of the circuit where it's just long straights, I missed which corner we're up to. So we're heading down to turn 5.
Yeah, the Americans have, for some reason,
this is
the slight bends in the road. Yeah, the slight bends in the road. Down this stretch is turn 4, and then between what looks like turn 1 and turn 2, there's an actual tiny bend there. That's actually turn 2. So weird numbering system, but anyway.
Now I understand where supercars get it from. That's all.
Slight bend here. Oh, there's a turn.
Yep.
Your steering wheel 2 degrees one way. There's another turn.
That's it. Exactly. Actually, we've had this argument before. People like Terry O'Neill, Mick Apps, and myself at places like Lakeside, where we argue how many corners it actually has. Now, my count says 8, but other people say 6. I'm just trying to understand how all that happens. But that's because I probably count class the kink as turn 1, whereas some people wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's where our numbering, yeah. So I'm more on the, okay, that's a corner. Even though it's the main straight, it's a corner, and that's where. And let's be honest, the kink isn't as much of a kink as it used to be. It's more of a corner now, anyway.
Yeah.
Just in terms of safety upgrades and everything else, it's got a much more of a sweeping curve type nature to it. So. Anyway.
Just quickly, guys, well, if you're on Facebook, let us know where you're watching from, what state or territory, or even city or suburb you're watching from, guys. It'd be interesting to find out how big our reach is. Just like to say thank you to Doadrift for providing you with these great pictures, the Gentlemen's Racing Club for providing the racing, LJ Hooker Gander, and Central Coast Subaru.
Hello to Josh Richards and Curtis Porter who have joined the Facebook live stream as well, boys. Josh, I hope you're going to have a better haircut on the end of social isolation. That's a dig that anyone that's watched our Facebook live chats over the years will be very familiar with. And Curtis Porter, of course, was a prominent figure in the Formula V National Challenge final at Queensland Raceway, of course, last year, and what a sensational race meeting that was.
I don't think anyone's getting too good at haircuts at the moment, though. Also, please tell me the mic is fixed now. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose it.
I was going to say, Rob, actually, it's been 9 weeks since I've had one. I went and booked in there next week. So my hairdresser's still open at the Riverlink Shopping Centre, so I'm looking forward to getting in there. And hello to Benny Piper, who's tuning in from St Clair in New South Wales as well.
Linda Porter watching from Banyo.
That's it. Nice part of the world, both of them.
Looks like I think we're going to have some action after this final turn here. Just coming through Thunder Valley. Coming up to the final turn now.
We should be getting back to racing speed very shortly, folks. Hope you're enjoying Friday Night Motorsport.
Here we
Across
go.
the streaming platform. Foot to the floor, we're back racing.
Watch Hammer. Here he goes.
Straight to the inside. It was on right from the get-go, wasn't it? In the best position. I was really surprised that the boys that hadn't yet pitted decided to stay out. That really surprised me, Nick. I thought they might have chimed in. Got the pit stop done under the clampdown situation, but they didn't. It'll come back to cost them in the long run. Most likely.
That's it. At least if the field's bunched up, at least you can have more laps and, I guess, easier time getting through them. When they start spreading out, it's going to be harder to catch back up again. Track position is key.
Certainly is.
Mikey's going for second now.
So we watch the run down
Braking duel.
to turn 5. Got the job done. Side by side there, the battle for third rages on. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, separated by the length of a handkerchief at the moment. Really close stuff in the opening lap since the resumption here at Road America. Two off in the sand. At the back a shot there. I think that might have been coming up into turn 6. 2 in the sand. Not pretty.
Side by side into the carousel. Oh man.
That's brave. It's bold, but it worked. They all come out of there cleanly. Trying to pick up who that was that went off into the sand there a minute ago, as well as this rages on.
We've got viewers checking in from Penrith, New South Wales.
I was about to say that, yes. We got Josh Hamity from Penrith. We got Glenn McGarry from Auckland.
Good old Auckland, New Zealand. Lovely.
Cliff Sedgley from Brizzy.
And
awesome,
of course,
guys.
It's interesting we have viewers in Auckland because, of course, that's where the supercars would have been this weekend had we not had the sporting world put on ice because of COVID-19. So it's nice that we're able to give you an alternative to the supercars. Glenn, nice to have you along for the broadcast. Now, another lap in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Across the line they go. 11:36 left on the clock.
Don't know where to look. Oh, okay. Sean Pidwell has spun at turn 1. I've just picked up here. Getting out of the way of everybody. Unfortunate.
Car moving slowly down the short chute there as well. Maybe that's a redress situation unfolding there. It would appear as though that was the case. So
yes.
Clearly one of the drivers there suspected he was in the wrong for the contact at 1.
Yep, just saw it in a replay, yeah.
Turn 3.
Yeah. That's one thing that I think the supercars did cover is about incident points. I guess we can cover that later. But also redressing situations is because this is the gentleman's club, and that's one thing we do promote in this club is being gentlemanly and also being honest racers. So it's good to see that car number 7, Paul Nichols, did that. Accidentally hit the guy out of the way, but then waited patiently for him on the side of the road to let him get past again. Continue racing.
So let's have a look at the margins here. The leader is Witt by 0.6 of a second. So look out for Hammer. Here he comes. Here's the move. Potentially to the lead on the cards as they hit Canada. So look out for Hammer. Here.
I don't think it's updated. Mikey Hammond is in the pink pig, and he's actually got the lead now.
That makes sense. Yeah, I was going to say my scoreboard hasn't yet updated. Even though I didn't have Hammer in front on the screen there, he was in front in the motor race. So that's just a timing glitch from our end. Apologies for that. They come up along the main straight, car in the wall.
Like Shane Witt's got a good drive here. He's going to have a look down into turn 1 here. Oh, he's closing the gap real quick. Alright, and he seems to have backed off and let Mikey Hammond get through. Both of them get through turn 1 nice and easy. Currently we have Mikey Hammond in the lead with just a couple minutes to go over Shane Witt, who's right behind him on his tail. Michael Porter sitting in 3rd. Falling back a bit through the field here, we got Dean Williams in 4th. And a great drive by Chris Polly here from 12th to 5th. Keeping it clean. Dave Farrelly in the 6th place in the Bailey Ladders car, and then we got a bit of a gap to Sean Pidwell and Paul Nichols that had the incident at turn 1 the previous lap. They're still racing ahead. Dylan O'Toole got a bit of damage on his Porsche. He's sitting in ninth. And a bit of a gap to, and he's just gone off at turn 3 there. Our Kiwi friend Josh. Maybe he's bringing all the Kiwis in to watch us. And he just got passed by Blake Urquhart, who's now up to 10th. And rounding out the field is Wayne Lawson. He's a couple laps down. He might have not connected straight away. And Gerard Daly, it looks like he has departed.
Indeed. Now, have a look at this. The ongoing battle here, ladies and gentlemen, between Nico and Pidwell. 0.4 of a second, if that, separating them at the moment as they hit with the carousel. It's on, the battle for 7th, right here, right now.
Great bit of track carousel going into the kink and then a hard braking at Canada Corner. You couldn't ask for anything better, could you?
No, not at all. It shapes as a perfect opportunity for Nico to try and find a way by if he can get the slipstream, get the run. He had a look on the inside. He tucked back in. The braking duel when they get to Canada. This is going to be interesting. He thinks better of it for the moment. He'll hold the line. He'll hold the spot. And he'll look for his chance further in the race, further down the track somewhere in the next couple of laps. On the run out of 13 to 14 they go. Main straight upon us. As we go back to, is that our battle for the race lead there? Cross the line. Or is this a battle just further down? I should apologise, folks. I'm not actually in front of a timing screen at the moment.
This would be Chris Polly, and it looks like Dean Williams and the Marlboro
Okay,
car.
so it's the battle for 4th and 5th.
Yep.
And Williams and Polly again. So we've had battles for 1st and 2nd, 4th and 5th, 6th and 7th. And there's been about 0.2, 0.3 of a second separating them every step of the way in this latter half of the race. It's been really good to watch. And at the moment, as you say there, Polly just has his, just has the line in the position. But Williams will sense his opportunity and he'll have a sniff if Polly should come unstuck. Into 5 they go. Quick look back to that ongoing battle between Nico and Pidwell. And it would appear as though that might be a change of position there.
Nico's finally gotten in front, but I think their pace is quite similar. I'll just have a look at my lap score sheet here. Yeah, they're pretty much on par with pace. So it'll be interesting to see if mistakes will separate these two, or they'll just keep, like magnets, keep getting back together.
And it's interesting too, isn't it, Nick? I mean, these guys, some of them are iRacing essentials. They're the iRacing. That's the limit of their racing experience. Others are experienced track campaigners that then have the iRacing on the side. But the one thing remains the same. Once you're in the zone, anything's possible. Once you're in the zone, it's easy enough to strap yourself in and just go pedal to the metal. Yes, you're going to have mistakes. Yes, you're going to have little moments here and there. It's how you respond to that that's the difference between the best and the worst in iRacing land. And now we're going to get a chance to see exactly what unfolds here in the remaining couple of laps of this race. These battles are ongoing, ladies and gentlemen, of course.
Dave Farrelly now under pressure.
And that's the thing. How do you handle the pressure? How do you respond to it? Up on the inside. Ooh, 2x2 through turn 1. How about that? Didn't work.
Someone had to lose position there, and it was Dave. He's lost another spot as well.
So Farrelly loses out. 2 spots in 1 corner.
It's all right. I guess he's having fun. That's all that really matters. On my screen, it looks like time is up. We haven't had a white flag yet, but see what transpires here. I'm just looking at the Twitch feed. There's still 3 minutes to go, so they might get all their laps in. It'll be touch and go, or be at least really close, I think.
I think we'll just get it in, which is a very good thing for all involved. Hello to Nick Caruso, hello to Chris Prince, hello to a few others that are tuning in. I've shared the link over on Facebook as well onto my personal page, so that's where someone like Chris Prince would have picked it up from. So good on you, mate. I hope you're all well down there in the wonderful coalfields part of the world known as Cessnock, as the rest of the field make their way around the carousel. It's the penultimate lap. Gentlemen's Racing Club spinner! There we go. I was just talking there about slip-ups, the potential for mistakes, even though your visor's on, you're strapped in, you're treating it as though it's the real thing. Potential for mistakes, always prevalent, and there you go.
Unlucky for
Chris
Chris Polly.
Lost. Chris Polly, the man involved, all on his own. And as you say, Nick, very unlucky.
I'm not giving anybody any more praise. I'm not going to give the commentator's curse anymore.
Yeah, let's not. We did enough of that last week. Last lap it should be this time round. Now, am I right in saying that Hammer Time is out to a 1.8 second lead there still? The race leader over Witt. Witt has tried to go with Hammer, but has been unable to just stay glued to his bumper bar. He has gone with him better than anybody else. He's just not been able to have a crack at displacing Hammond from that lead position here. They head down to turn 5. Famous Road America circuit. Playing host to leg one of the doubleheader for you tonight, folks. Stick around. We're going to Spa very shortly. Dylan Coddles joined the live stream on Facebook. Hello, mate. That's a great thing, I must admit, between doing the iRacing stuff and the QR stuff. At QR, I don't have a chance to have a look at it and see who's tuning into our live feed, whether it's with audio or otherwise. Here, I've got 3 monitors in front of me, and one of them's Facebook Live, and one of them tells me exactly who's tuning in. So it's nice to be able to engage with the audience in that regard. Don't forget, folks, at the end of this broadcast, we're going to hang around and have a chat to some of the drivers, just as we did last week as well. So looking forward to that. And everyone will be a little bit sleep deprived tomorrow morning when they wake up for their dawn services. Even though we can't attend them this year, we're all going out in the driveway with our little portable radios in hand. It's going to be a unique experience, 2020. Now, Hammer Time has really put the hammer down here in the last 15 minutes or so. Even though he's only got a 1.8 second lead here, that's all he needs. He can consolidate that and bring it home. This will be another fantastic race win for him. On the back of a rather disappointing week last week, it'll be nice to see him back in the winner's circle.
Just looking at the lap time, Shane Witt and Mikey have done very similar lap times, both their fastest laps in the last 2 laps. So, it's looking pretty tight.
Yeah, it's been tight for 3 or 4 position battles within the top 10. You were talking there earlier about obviously first and second. We're talking about the battle for 6th and 7th. Now on our screen here is 11th and 12th. Dylan O'Toole and Wayne Lawson. It's a second separating them as we go back to our leaders. And this has been a tremendous performance from Hammond. And that's... ooh, hang on. Is that the checkered... Have we missed the checkered flag?
The checkered flag has not come up, but yeah, that looks like it's it.
Checkered flag is out, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen. So that'll be a win to Hammer Time. 0.9 of a second in all of that.
And now the field's kind of spread out now, but it was an interesting race just to see how it all played out. It looks like they were forced to make a pit stop, but if you could make it through without making one, so be it by the looks of it.
So be it, yeah. And some people have used that to their advantage very, very well. Well done to Hammond. We do believe he'll be credited with the win there. Witt second. And as we say, we got done for time certainty there, unfortunately.
I don't know what's going on with that wheel there. Just flicked off and then magnetized back on.
Yeah. Sometimes the damage model isn't entirely accurate. I mean, I was talking to Sam Collins, who does a lot of Skip Barber racing, the open wheeler, and someone crashes, their wheel bounces down the track, hits him, takes him out, then it reattaches back to their car and they drive off. So it's not always fair, but yeah, just interesting how these things unfold.
I think this is a something hopefully is not going to catch on in the real racing world, is the smashing into each other at the end of the race to celebrate.
Big cleanup. All right, just to quickly go over the top 3 guys, we had Michael Hammond winning by 1.7 over Shane Witt, with Michael Porter in 3rd place there. And Zach, you can take this away. We're currently joined by Paul Nichols.
Paul, please explain, my friend, a couple of wild moments for you yet again this week.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's hard doing race control while you're driving, so I do lose concentration occasionally. So a lot of fun, though, coming back through the field. I had a bit of an incident there with Sean Pidwell, I think it is, and I had to redress it on track. Obviously, I didn't want to...
saw that.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's all about fun, this series. I think it was a really good race. I don't know how you saw the broadcast, but I really enjoyed it.
Mate, it was a great race. I was just about to say, before we crossed to you, Nick was talking about the race being good. I thought the clampdown period really spiced things up, and obviously it helped people like yourself be able to tag back on to the back of the field. Unfortunately, it didn't go to plan at the restart, as you said just there. But Road America is such a great track, such a different track to what we had last week, and obviously different cars. It's nice to have that variety, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this car is quite difficult to drive. I mean, the tyres are fairly hard, and they take probably 2 to 3 laps to get up to pace. And I think this track and this car really suit each other. I think it was fantastic, fantastic drive. All the guys really respectful, and everyone had a great time, I think.
And obviously, we've got the big one coming up, mate. You must be looking forward to playing race control with the big field heading to the Belgium circuit, Spa-Francorchamps. That'll be fantastic.
Absolutely, and those cars, particularly the TA2s, I think that's going to be a very interesting race, and certainly look forward to it, and look forward to watching the broadcast after the race.
All right, mate. We'll hang around because we'll have a chat to you at the end of that one as well. But thanks for having a chat to us in the meantime, and well done again.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Really love the broadcast. I hope we're getting lots of likes on Facebook and Twitch, and yeah, thanks again.
19 viewers currently active on Facebook Live at the moment. As we say, folks, hang tight. We're coming back in a moment. The loop screen will just keep us going there for the moment as we reset and head over to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium.
And if you guys don't mind me just doing a bit of a shameless plug, obviously, like a lot of people, I haven't been working much over the last 4 weeks, so we've been setting this stream up, and we've I'll bring it up now. Managed to set up this store with some shirts and stuff. So there isn't any racing themed shirts yet, but I am working on some sim racing themed shirts. But we do have some social distancing themed shirts.
Nice.
So you can check that out at doadrift.com. Pretty much everything that comes through from that is going towards improving the stream and keeping things running. I also know that the Gentlemen's Racing Club are looking for, if you're willing to put some donations towards their servers, if you're watching or if you're racing with them, it helps the guys keep the servers running. They actually have to run a server to run these, which is a cost. So again, if you guys are out there, check out their club, their page, the Gentlemen's Racing Club, and I believe that there's a post on there that explains how you can put that into is it the PayPal account or something, is it, Nick?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I'll get my shameless plug away now, but you got to do what you got to do in these times, all right?
It was funny how he said that, Nick. He said, if you guys don't mind me jumping in to give a shameless plug, we don't mind the shameless plug. We might mind him jumping in. I'm not sure. But now, very quickly, on the back of all of that, I was going to say, just before Rob did jump in there, I just feel like that kid that used to watch Nine's coverage of Formula One and MotoGP on a double-header weekend. You'd just go to a commercial break, you'd come back, and you'd be in another part of the world. That's what we're doing here tonight. We've been in North America. We stayed in North America last week, but we're going to Europe tonight, and 2 6+ kilometre circuits on our agenda. This time round, it'll be the 7 kilometre Spa-Francorchamps circuit that plays host to the Belgian Formula One Grand Prix. Dylan Cotterill asked the question, how are you, big man? I assume he was talking to me. I'm not 100% sure because I gave him the shout-out, but no part of me is big. Anyway, he was the one saying, "How are you, big man, mate? I'm very, very well. Like you, busting keen to get back to the racetrack. In fact, when Rob jumps back in, I'll get him to give us an update on how close or how far away we are from going
I was
back."
about to say, after 4 weeks of sitting in front of a computer, I'm certainly big. I'm looking forward to that gym reopening, to be honest.
Sure. Mate, just on the QR front, give us an update because, as I said earlier, young Kalen was back out there earlier in the week and very excited to be so. What's going on with QR? How close are we to getting back going? Are we waiting for this announcement about social restriction lifts on May 14? What's the go? What's happening?
I think, yeah, we're just waiting. I haven't heard much. I haven't really been back. So I'm not too sure. I was checked in with Neil yesterday, and he's not really sure where we're at. I guess we're just waiting to hear from the government, who I think said that they're not looking at changing anything for at least 3 weeks. I think
May 14th.
Yeah, what ScoMo said today. So I know that their main concern is that, a bit like the Spanish flu, that there might be a second run that's 10 times worse. So they're just trying to sort of, I think, play it safe. So they're not really getting back to us. I imagine they'll be opening more like, I would think, some sort of maybe food places, restaurants and things, maybe. I don't know. It's weird because in WA, they can actually run at Barbagill. I think I mentioned this last week, but my mic was a bit choppy. So they've actually, you can hire the track over there and privately and run it, but there are obviously different restrictions in different states. We're not allowed to do that. So
yeah, which is hugely frustrating because we're all looking forward to going back racing. And the reason why I mentioned Dylan Cottle, of course, he's got a Willowbank 300 to try and defend a little bit later on in the season as well. He famously won with Trent Laves last year, the biggest winning margin in Willowbank 300 history, if you don't mind. So Trent will be part of the broadcast shortly as well. He'll be having a run in TA2 NASCAR. So Dylan Codhill, very good to have you on board for the ride, my friend, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the night. And I think I speak for everyone when we say we've got our fingers crossed that we'll be back trackside sooner rather than later. But thanks to Rob for giving us that update there. And what he said, Nick, it's so prevalent as well. Everyone's talking about this second outbreak, and Paul Murray was saying it last night on Sky News. That's the show that I've turned to during all of this COVID-19 stuff. He was saying last night that the people that were the first to be screaming for a lockdown are the people that are now screaming for us to lift the restrictions. And yet when we have a second outbreak, they'll be the first people screaming, "Oh, we moved out of lockdown too soon." But at one point or another, it doesn't matter when we lift the restrictions, there's going to be a second outbreak. Not because we haven't taken all the right precautions, because we have, but because, unlike the other part of the world, the Northern Hemisphere, heading into summer, we're heading into winter. We're heading into the danger zone. So, yeah, it's going to be a bumpy road ahead. But I think, in the greater scheme of things, it comes back to economics and a few other factors, sanity being one of them. The sooner we try and get life back to some form of normal, the better everyone will be. So,
speaking of the danger zone there, Zach,
yes,
I am looking forward to seeing Top Gun 2 in the cinema, not from home. I've been looking forward to that for a very long time. So I'm hoping that we at least get everything back to normal by the time that comes out, because I've waited a long time for that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were very disappointed that they couldn't go and watch the Bond film. That's now been postponed to later in the year as well. And we've got friends at Limelight Cinemas, of course, too, Rob, that will be desperate to get back to work and service our popcorn and our soft.
I think that Limelight Cinemas probably takes a good hefty chunk of my wage every fortnight.
They do cheap Tuesdays there.
They're cheap just in general. They're a good, and I'm not.
My sister was saying, yeah.
I'm not paid anything. Okay, like, hey, if you're listening from Limelight Cinemas right now and you want to send some money our way, please feel free. But I'm not paid by them. They are just a good cinema though. Like, hold on one second. I've got all the sound coming in.
We should quickly, as you say that though, give a quick plug to the other people that make it possible, Nick, and that's of course the great people at Central Coast Subaru and LJ Hooker.
Yes, that's right, and also obviously to Doadrift.
Yes,
for providing us with great footage, and also the Gentlemen's Racing Club for providing the racing part of our broadcast.
arguably the most important part. I mean, we just sit here and yak about it, but the racing is the most important part of all of this, and we hope you enjoy what we bring you a little bit later on. Of course, folks, we're not too far off heading to Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for the TA2 NASCAR portion of the evening.
Yes, we are.
Coming in now.
I've got that up now. Sorry, I just dropped the sound for a second. There is a big sound difference between the production car races we're doing and the NASCAR races. So getting that right balance, so you can hear the engine, but you can still hear everyone else is pretty important. So I'll ramp that back up in a second. And it looks like we're just in practice at the moment.
We've actually started qualifying, so they're just starting to tick over their first laps now.
Well, if that's the case, there's the info.
That's it. Being a long circuit, an outlap still takes you 2.5 minutes. So, thank you for joining us on Doadrift, guys and girls. You join us in the TA2 NASCAR series. We now move across to the Ardennes Forest in Belgium and go to the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit.
And what a circuit it is too. I might just refresh the Wikipedia page and go from Road America to Spa-Francorchamps and just give you some details on this circuit. Of course, folks, it is a clockwise circuit. There are a few of those on the calendar. And it's 7 kilometres in length. It doesn't often see TA2 and NASCAR style racing, but tonight's the exception. We're going to have some fun with it.
And that's it. Being laser scanned both the cars and the circuits. This is what would happen if NASCARs really did make it over there into Belgium. This circuit's used widely, mainly famous for Grand Prix. It's one of the original circuits on the Grand Prix calendar, but also the 24 hours of Spa circuit race.
That's right.
Using the GT3 cars, and which they do recreate here on iRacing. 24 hours is a long time. But yeah, and there's a car on the wall there. It's going to be hard to keep up, ladies and gents, because this is a big field.
I thought that might be the case. A big field
close
for
to
Spa.
30. Yeah.
Wade McLean joining us from Tasmania via Facebook Live as well. Hello to you, sir. I was talking about great names in Formula V earlier. There's one of them right there.
So currently, Daniel Ackland in car 375 is on the pole on a 226.1. Only 8 cars are qualified so far because they're all still streaming out. And on occasion there, Zach, you may see one of the Whitaker brothers, and I think this particular paint job this week will be it's quite nice. I don't mind it. Good way to get on TV, guys and girls.
Yes.
Just quickly, if you're watching on the Facebook, guys, make sure you hit the like button. If you're liking the action that you're seeing, hit the love button. If you're liking what myself or Zach are saying, hit the laugh button. And if your favourite driver is getting into any sort of strife, please hit the sad button.
I was going to say, don't hit the laugh button. I'm not trying to be a comedian. Too many people laugh at me.
And then obviously on Twitch, guys, make sure you leave us a comment, guys.
I'm just watching via Facebook Live at the moment, waiting for my other feed to return to the central commentary position here, Nick, in just a moment. But as I watch the feed from Spa in Belgium via Facebook Live and also look at the track map on the other side of my screen there, thank you, Rob, nicely done. 20 turns.
I can take a hint.
Thank you. I knew you could. That's why I said it very subtly.
I need a whisper button.
20 turns this circuit here. So, I mean, that's more corners than Road America, but less than Bathurst. The key points are obviously going to be Eau Rouge 3, 4, and 5. Watch for any car that might get a little bit loose and taily through there. We could see a couple of cars in the wall at the top of Eau Rouge. I know, just playing Formula 1 on the PlayStation earlier today, if you don't get that corner exactly right, you're a passenger straight fired off into the outside wall. Sadly, of course, Antoine Hubert was the latest fatality at the circuit in shocking circumstances at that part of the circuit during the Formula 2 race last year. We all remember where we were when we saw that. It's just frightening stuff. Key overtaking point, of course, turn 7, the end of the back straight there, the Camel Straight. And, of course, turn 1, La Source. And the bus stop chicane, turn 19 and 20 when you come through that back section of the circuit. That we were talking about Road America and kinks and corner numbers earlier in the day. It's one long straight from 16 around to 19 with a couple of corners in between, but you're flat to the floor every cent of the way. from 16 to 19. So if you can get a good run and get a good toe on the car in front of you going out of turn 16 round to turn 19, you're a chance of putting on a move into 19, come back onto the main straight. And there will be some switchback action there as well between 19 and 20 because we so often see it in Formula One, and that then, of course, opens you up for another opportunity at turn 1. So they're probably the key points of the circuit. Slowest corner on the circuit is that turn 19 and 20 chicane section, closely followed by turn 1 and turn 10. So a good mix of fast and slow, an iconic venue, and something we're very much looking forward to racing on as the evening goes on here. It's going to be great fun.
Yeah, this particular nuance about this circuit, especially with these particular cars, is there's long corners. Okay, those passing areas are pretty much the only tight corners on the circuit, but there's long corners, and as we know, this car does not use its tyres well. So
now we saw that last week, didn't we?
Yeah, so I guess unlike Road Atlanta with all the little switchbacks, these are very long corners, long duration corners. So I do think tyres will be king in this, but we'll see what happens. As I'm just going through the field, there's some names that we haven't seen coming up through. We've got Gavin Sadler in a very bright xfinity Mustang. He's currently sitting in 11th. Lachlan Gardner in 12th spot in the EFS Guard Motorsports.
It is weird seeing Lockie in 707 again because he started this year as number 1 in QR Sports and sedans. So obviously not transferable to a different series, but.
Well, as far as I know, I don't think anybody. I'm just going to quickly go through the list. I don't think anybody's taken number 1, so
no,
it might be up for grabs.
You don't have to earn it in this series. You got to earn it for next season.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, that might be the case. Maybe that's why no one's picked it. We got some people on the Facebook. Go 36, 44, and 64. That's Callum Watmore, Kester Ward, and what was it, 64.
Little things I love about this, we were just looking at the pits, that when people are getting their tyres done, the car actually tilts like someone's jacking it up, but there's no one there jacking it up.
Yeah, the graphics aren't developed enough yet for observers to watch it, but if in car,
yeah, you can see them.
Car, you can actually see the guys jump over the pit wall, not in this case, but jump down, go around your car and start servicing your car. It's actually quite...
I imagine it's to make the streams a bit more reliable for people, a bit less intensive on download and everything as well, but I'm sure that they'll add it in eventually, especially with the boosts they're getting at the current times with everyone watching and getting into iRacing.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, the IndyCar iRacing Challenge is taking off. We've got the NASCAR one as well. We've got the Supercar one. Everyone's embracing iRacing in 2020, the year of iRacing.
NASCAR minus one famous driver.
Well, that's exactly right.
We mentioned last week, but yeah.
It's interesting though, when you look at iRacing, I had an official actually file a complaint with Supercars the other night. Where are your officials on the flag posts? The flag posts are empty around the circuit when you're racing at Bathurst. What's going on here? And of course, again, it comes back to software development. The crowds are small. The officials haven't been put in their place.
We actually, at one of the tracks we were using, I think it was week 1 or 2. There was actually an official in one of the points because the camera went off and I saw them. It might have been the finish line. And they had a flag. So they're obviously not at all the points, but I think they are at some of the points on certain maps.
Yeah, the start finish generally has one.
Yep, and that'll slowly
restart.
And that'll slowly continue to build and grow. I'm sure as the iRacing franchise develops its software. Spinner here at, I think that's turn 10.
It's all happening. The boys are pushing it. Just to recap a couple things, guys and girls that are watching. In iRacing, we have things called off-tracks. So this particular circuit, there's a lot of runoff, and you can get a lot of incident points, I should say. If you run off the track, you do collect incident points, and I believe the trigger point this week is 30 incident points. So you can get going one wheel off the circuit is 1 incident point, a spin's worth 2, and crashing's worth 4. So it won't be hard, especially if you have nose-to-tail contact and go off the track to collect those incident points real quick, smart. So,
hey Nick, I just wanted to cut in quickly and say thanks to Small Stream supporters who are hosting us on Twitch right now. Welcome to everyone who's viewing from there. I hope you enjoy the stream. Stick around, give us a follow if you enjoy it. Thanks, guys.
awesome port, that's awesome.
Whoa, the 36, in fact, 3 cars off in Eau Rouge. We were talking about that being a danger point of the circuit. The 36 went bang into the wall. The other 2 went to the outside of the corner. Oh, a big moment in qualifying there.
Lucky
Whoa.
this is a sim, because now you can just push
Exactly.
reset and go again. But if that's any indication what the start of the race is going to be like, I do not want to be on the grid.
I'm very glad that we're behind the microphone, not behind the wheel. Yeah.
So what have we got left? We've just got under 4 minutes left. We have a very familiar name at the top of the page, Glenn Postlethwaite on the pole on a 24.9. Daniel Ackland on a 25.8. So almost his teammate too. Almost a full second behind. And then we got Callum Watmore in third on a 26.3.
Now that's interesting that you mentioned Carl Watmore. He is the 36 that I was just talking about. So I look forward to having a chat to him post-race to see what that was all about. Just trying to get an extra couple of tenths of a second out of the car. And it ended up backfiring in a big way.
Oh, there's also one more thing too. If, especially at the top of Eau Rouge, if you go all 4 wheels off the track, you automatically get what they term a slowdown. And this can also happen at the bus stop and the like. So you'll be penalised in actual time, and you'll have to slow down ASAP to let that time burn off and then rejoin the race. So I'm hoping the drivers are smart and don't just jam on the brakes and actually just get out of the throttle, because we could see some interesting things happen. So if someone does all of a sudden start slowing down, we can pretty much guess if they've gone off the track, they've got a slow down time penalty. So, which is an instant time penalty, usually about 2 seconds, but it's very hard to clear, especially if you're at speed.
Now, Wayne Priest there in the 777, a new name to the list. Heading round towards turn 19 and 20 now.
Some people haven't done a lap yet, so who knows what happened. A couple guys doing double duties.
2:35 left on the clock here as well.
Yep. And I just noticed our round 1 winner, Ben Snell, has now changed his name to Snellovision.
Oh no! Come on, can we be serious, folks? I mean, yes, it's a bit of a hit and giggle, it's a bit of fun, but can we go by our proper names, please? It's not the Brute Utes. We're not referring to your nickname. Oh dear, that's funny.
At least we know that one.
Well, this is very true. We're bound to muck it up at some point, I'm sure. Just wanted to quickly point out, Glenn Postlethwaite, you were saying is on top of the time sheet. Can you remind us of the time there, so we know what the benchmark is now?
A 24.9.
2:24.9. And I tell you what, that's a big difference. But when you look at Formula One, they're lapping somewhere in the vicinity of high 140s, low 150s, depending upon qualifying or race trim. That's a big difference between the fast laps there and the fast laps for the NASCARs.
It's corner speed for you.
Exactly right, and also longer under brakes as well for the on the straight.
Hey Nick, can I ask you a question? Nick, are we going standing start or rolling start?
That's rolling start this one.
Okay, thank you.
I made sure about that. From the second week we had a standing start, which made things interesting, but they actually kept it clean, which was actually quite good.
Well, that's not exactly fun. But no, thanks for Paul for coming in there and having a chat to us. We'll hear from Paul at the end of the race, no doubt. He's got a lot to contend with over the next hour with all this racing about to unfold here. He's the eyes in the sky, if you like, in race control. He will be the adjudicator, judge, prosecution, and everything else in between in this race tonight. And we look forward to hearing his thoughts at the end of it as well. So we've got...
Starting starting to wrap up now.
Yeah, I was going to say only about 30 seconds left in the session.
I've just seen that car, the sticker on the bumper of that car that says Cal Jr. in the Carl's Jr. logo.
Boys are getting very creative. There's no doubt about that. See, this is what happens. When we've all got time on our hands, we find different ways to spend it. These iRacing tragics among us have just taken the liberty of spending a bit too much time, perhaps, prepping their race car liveries. Car on the wall!
We've
And
had
the 777 goes round as well.
the quali has just had the checkered flag as well, so we'll be heading into a start soon, I think.
Yeah.
So there's the checkered flag for the quali session. And the last lap for a couple of cars there, not going to script. Well, that is unfortunate,
It
but
looks like
unsurprising.
they're going to have their driver's briefing now. We'll actually brief our viewers on the top 3 is currently Glenn Postlethwaite. I just watched Daniel Ackland actually close the gap down. He was out to 9/10 behind. He's now closed it down to half a second, which is still a long way, around 7 kilometres. And then Callum Watmore rounding out the top 3 there. Still cars completing laps. 21 cars have so far qualified. There's still 1, 2, 3. There's at least 9, maybe 8 cars that are going to partake in the race. 8, so that's going to be close to 30 guys in here. So
That's going to be huge. So what you're saying is there's going to be 8 guys that haven't recorded a time starting from the back. Is that what you're telling me?
correct, yeah. So
Ooh.
that'll be the way they sort the grid on that
Feisty.
is based on what they call iRating, which is basically speed and consistency.
Yep.
So the faster guys will be in front of the slower guys, or if they so choose to do so, they can start from pit lane, let all the accidents happen in turn 1, and then make their way around and go from there once the last car has passed the end of pit lane.
I'm not so much worried about turn 1 as I am the exit of Eau Rouge. I know turn 1's a trouble point on lap 1, but a rolling start will hopefully sort most of that mess out. I'm more worried about when they get out of Eau Rouge. Anyone gets the tail in there, we could see 4 or 5 cars caught up.
Yeah,
So,
bounce off one wall, bounce into another wall, bounce off another car. So yeah.
Yeah, it could be a bit of hit and giggle there, right there from the start. There's the 007 sliding into turn 1, the end of the session. So that's going to be interesting when you look at this, Nick. You mentioned 8, 9 cars starting right towards the back of the field from the end, from the outside of row 11 right through to the end of row 15. It's going to be interesting to see the strategy play in all of that, because we detailed earlier, yes, there are overtaking opportunities around here, but there are limited opportunities, and you've got to be mindful of losing time to the front of the field while you're working your way through the traffic. So you're going to have to play it smart and hope that you have a clean run through the first pit stop into a competition clampdown or portion or whatever we're going to have that bunches the field back up. This will be interesting. Please make note, those of you playing along at home, and also Nick there in central commentary, who's starting at the back of the field there, and let's see who makes the most progress as this session goes on. Now, there's the 78 having a little bit of fun. A little bit too much fun, actually.
So while we're in they're having a driver's briefing, I'll quickly brief our viewers. This is a 50 lap race, or lap equivalent, so we've put 22 laps. There is 1 compulsory pit stop. It looks like they're getting about 8 laps. Talking to a couple of drivers earlier today, about 8 laps, so they should make it through on 2 stops. There is a safety car enabled. Now, I was also discussing this with another driver. It doesn't necessarily mean there will be a safety car, but it is enabled.
Yep.
To keep people in the race, there is Lucky Dog wave around enabled. There's also 2 fast repairs. So if you do absolutely trash the beep out of your car,
Yes.
you can go back to pits and get a new one. The start is double file, but the restarts are single file.
Interesting.
It's 7 kilometers around, 7,004 meters, to quote Neil Crompton. 7,000.
Very nice. 7.004. Very good.
That's it. And it's going to be an interesting race.
Oh, any race at the pinnacle of Belgian motorsport, Spa-Francorchamps, is interesting. There's no doubt about that.
That's it.
However, it's a whole new ballgame, because these are TA2 and Nascar entries that we wouldn't normally be used to seeing race around here. You said it earlier, GT cars, Formula 1 car, Formula 2, Formula 3, those sorts of cars. We're not used to seeing NASCARs and TA2s. This will be, quite another Australian commentator, a little bit wild at times, I think, tonight. And I hate quoting that commentator too, but there's no other word to describe it. This has action written all over it. It'll be fantastic to watch. We hope you enjoy the Festival of Speed we're about to bring you here, ladies and gentlemen. 50 minutes, 22 laps. And then, of course, stick around for the post-race show. We'll have a chat to a few of the drivers in the clubhouse here.
We should probably point out the car's flickering. That's just them loading into the race. That's not a bug in the air. Yeah. So once they kick off, that should all stop.
They're all lining up behind the safety truck. I chose a truck tonight.
Yes.
They're just starting
off now
into the Blanchimont corner, and then the truck will duck off at the exit of the bus stop, and they will start their race. So just quickly, on the pole, Glenn Postlethwaite with Daniel Ackland second. On the next road, Callum Watmore with Chris Whitaker. And I hope you've seen that car there.
Yes.
Zach, yes, you've seen it. Awesome. Yep. We then have Michael, I hope I say this correctly, Schreier in fifth with Trent Laves in sixth. Sam Collins in seventh with Sean Evans in eighth. Mikey Hammond in ninth, and Brock Payne in 10th.
That Dollar General car brings me back memories from being in Texas, where there's a Dollar General on every corner.
Here we go, Glenn Postlethwaite, and away they go.
Glenn Postlethwaite jumped beautifully there on the run towards the first corner. He should be a clear leader. Watch him scramble through here. Interesting to see how spaced out the field already is. Spinner at one! Was that Callum Watmore going round? Oh, Watmore's gone round, and there's a knock-on effect. So I said it was interesting the field was already this well spaced out. It didn't help Watmore. He got carved up by about three of them. Three wide in the middle pack there as they head down to Eau Rouge for the first time. This was the trouble point that I was worried about on lap one. There's the 25 off into the wall on the entrance to Eau Rouge. What about on the exit of Eau Rouge? Is there any carnage there, or have they got it out of their system? We'll wait and see.
Wow. Didn't even get turn one done.
Interesting to see that it looks as though everyone got through Eau Rouge A-OK. Callum Watmore's going up there on the outside, trying to... Oh, no! Up and over goes the 41.
Oh, it's all happening.
That's, of course, Scott Griffiths. He's gone up and over at the end of the back straight. And the 56 is on the in the gravel again. That was at the exit of turn 9. And the 56, of course, came back to Smith. There's the 73 into the wall as well. Oh, I've lost count of the amount of... That's Benny Snell. I've lost count of the amount of cars that have already kissed the Armco. And we're only on lap one. We're not even halfway through lap one. This is ridiculous.
This is the most carnage we've had at a race start in the series so far.
Oh, it's magnificent when you throw up such an historic circuit and you put 30 of them together. I thought the fact that they were going to be that far spaced out at the start more than I thought they would be. I thought that would actually bode well for them. It didn't. There's been that much panel-to-panel contact already. But thankfully at the front of the field, the rest of the field has managed to get through cleanly. So what's that? 20 of about 30 haven't run into any trouble yet. So only a third of the field straight in trouble on lap one. Let's see what happens for the next 48 minutes.
So, operative word being yes.
Totally Not Dylan and Prack Harvitz 23. Thank you for following on Twitch there, I think it was. It's much appreciated, guys.
Ken Smith, Travis Fraser, Lockie Mansell joining the feed on Facebook Live as well. Good to have you with us for Friday Night Motorsport, the Gentleman's Racing Club Smart Freckle Shop in Belgium. The end of the opening lap, the 44 in trouble there on the entrance to turn 20, and already a couple of cars heading towards the pit lane as well. 44, that was Kester Ward. He actually put it up on his Facebook feed earlier in the day. Here's the link, come and watch me make a goose of myself, or words to that effect, I'm pretty sure he said earlier in the day. He's been carved up already.
Lap 1 mover and shaker is Alex J. John AJ there in car 14. He's come from 16th position up to 7th. No doubt helped with all those spinners and incidents.
Well, that certainly does help, doesn't it? We were talking about the guys coming through in the back of the field, and you said they needed to keep their nose clean. Thankfully, some of them did.
Yeah, well,
such a shame for Callum Watmore, though, Nick, because I thought he'd be one of the guys to watch tonight, taking out the first corner.
Well, he's just coming out of pit lane now. Just looking back through the field here, there's a couple of guys that did take some damage. They know there's going to be a competition caution / safety car later on. So no better time than to take one of your free repairs and top up your fuel and go now and try and put in some good lap to try and catch up some track position.
Interesting to see who makes the most of that opportunity right here, right now. 3 cars fighting over the same piece of real estate. Surely that can't end well. But thankfully, the boys do find a sensible way through there. Yeah, yellow and green car at the back of that battle pack, just tucking back in now.
Yeah, Chris Polly following Sneller Vision, Ben Snell and Kane Baxter-Smith. Kane had a bit of trouble on that first lap, so did Ben Snell. So where are they sitting? 19th and 20th at the end of that previous lap. And we know Kane will always push the fuel limits. And we know Ben Snell is a good fuel saver. So you never know, these two can still be in it. They did it.
It certainly could be. And this is the thing too, Nick. Even though the restart single file, when we get a competition clamp down or whatever it may be, even though that single file, we could see similar incidents to what we just had on lap 1 here. So there's every chance that anyone that has been caught up early on could redeem themselves a little bit later on in the race. Oh yes, no, Kester's Facebook post earlier today, I mentioned it, I didn't exactly quote it accurately, but it was as cleanly as I could put it. He said, tune in tonight to see me getting my backside handed to me. There's the 44 having a moment in turn 19. While trying to wrestle a NASCAR around Spa. Good on you, Kester, we hope you're going well, mate, as they cross the line one more time.
And it's just made the group of 3 cars into a group of 6.
And that bodes well for the next couple of laps, doesn't it?
It's going to be excitement plus. This was voted too by the drivers themselves of which track they wanted to do. I particularly, as one of the series admins, didn't want to do a longer circuit like this, especially with all the off tracks, but wow, 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 and wow.
It hasn't disappointed yet, Nick, and we've got 45 minutes of it to go. Lap 3 of 22 here. Spa-Francorchamps. Interesting to see how all this plays out in the greater scheme of things. 78 wide there through turn 8 and 9. And that allowed him to be overtaken there on the inside. The 56, of course, of Kane Baxter-Smith just finding the grass at the end of the back straight there, shortcutting the chicane. This is sensational racing already. Oh, I can't wait for the discussion post-race here. There's going to be plenty to talk about. Snell's in the grass again, in the gravel this time. Down at turn 10. Wowee. Just to steal something from Brian Taylor's vocabulary. Yeah, exactly, right. I don't know how Rob's keeping up with all of this. There's action aplenty here at this point in time. So, we keep our eyes peeled on the head of the field. There's car 97 just on our screen there a moment ago. Of course, 97 is Brendan Jackson. He's coming around out of the second sector now onto that run out of 16 around to 19. This is an important long drag where he's actually susceptible to a potential overtake if the cars behind him can get the slipstream of toe. Run around 17 and 18 on the run to 19 now. Let's watch this. Further back, another 5-way battle unfolding here. And it's like that all over the track, ladies and gentlemen. You picked a good night to join us.
Just quickly updating some people who have pitted early. Callum Watmore ended that last lap 57 seconds. 2 laps in, 57 seconds behind the leader. On most tracks, that'll be close to a lap down, whereas this one, that's still got another minute and a half.
The wall. There you go. And 73, that was Snell having a coming together as well. So Snell and Kester Ward, he's been carved up again. Well, he mentioned something about having his backside handed to him. It may have been, I didn't see the original start of the incident. He may be handing it to himself at the moment. As they head onto the back straight one more time out of Eau Rouge.
Just got to keep looking everywhere.
This is This is super entertainment. Thank you very much to the drivers of the Gentlemen's Racing Club for choosing this circuit, because it hasn't disappointed us thus far.
Okay.
We're only 4 laps in.
Just watch the replay there, and Kester Ward accidentally ran into the back, because these things aren't best on brakes, ran into the back of Kester Ward, as we have Gavin Sadler off at the top of Lecom.
And we had Jack Anderson off the in the 18, I think it was, as well, having a little bit of an off-track excursion. So, again, you just don't know where to look at the moment.
Yeah,
Nick, this is simply I've got 2 eyes on the screen, but at the same time I've got to try and have 2 eyes on the name sheet and 2 eyes on the Facebook feed to have a look at the statistics coming through to me on a 15-second delay. My eyes are everywhere at the moment. I'm going to be very sore at the end of this, I feel. But it just goes to show you that we probably need more 3 or 4 commentators with ability to watch 15 different screens at one time here. It's just incredible the amount of drama we've already seen here as they head into the end of the second sector here. So this is around turn 14, 15, that section of the circuit. We're back following the field through sector 3. The 69 there is Trent Laves. He's on our screen now. Good on you, Trent. Having an okay run thus far.
He's been very quick in the lead up to this too, all week and in the practice sessions as well. So he's definitely a track that he's very much suited to.
He's enjoying it, and we're just having a look at him running there in 4th at the moment. So possibly Ackland, Whitaker, Laves, and then is it Schreier?
Schreier?
I'm not sure. Depends upon which school you went to, I guess. Out of turn 1 through 2 on the run down to 3, 4, and 5, the famous Eau Rouge. We've already seen some cars come unstuck here. I thought the drama would be on the exit, so turn 5. It's been 3 and 4 thus far that's thrown up the carnage in terms of Eau Rouge. Different cars have different braking points, as they say.
Yeah.
And some of them are already bent and broken. Callum Watmore, you wouldn't expect him to be as far down the order as he is at the moment, but we hope you enjoy watching him fight his way back through the field, because once this field bunches back up, that's exactly what he will do. He's a racer, there's no doubt about that. So, just to update you, it's lap 5 of 22. I can't believe we're only 5 laps into this. That's the amazing thing. There's been that much happen. kind of reminds me, I was in the 2MCE studio in 2009 calling the French Grand Prix from Le Mans MotoGP, and there was with mixed weather conditions, I might add, there was about 10 laps worth of action in the first 3. It was quite extraordinary.
Yeah.
Very well to keep up with it. So many positional changes and everything else. This race is reminding me of that. And Lachlan Mansell, who's tuning in at the moment, he may remember that. He wasn't in the commentary box that night. He would have been tuning in via the radio. He was part of the team back then. Lachlan's one of those people who has audio clippings from moments where I've lost my, the proverbial, on air. So he has moments like when Valentino Rossi went off the bike that night. Denny, when Randy DePunier fell off the Saxon ring a few months later. He will remember all these incidents that I'm talking about off the drop of a hat. Now, positional change here.
I've just seen that car 19, is it? The paint job on it.
Kyle A. Greck, good on you.
Yeah.
Sideways, and he's going to lose a spot there, though, to the 56, of course, of Kane Baxter Smith. So Baxter Smith moves back into that position. This is the battle we're looking at for 16th and 17th, believe it or not, on the racetrack.
Sam Collins running the Coolings
That's
retractable tarps car.
Good to see Sam Collins in the field. Of course, had an interesting run last week and is sitting there mid-pack at the moment, but watch him move forward. Potentially put a move on up here, mate. Let's wait and see. Will he go deep under brakes on the inside? No, he thinks better of it. Thinks, no, I can wait. I'll wait and try and get him at the end of the back straight out of Eau Rouge. He won't have to. Sideways on the exit.
Yeah, get on the grass street. There's no grip there.
Yep. And therefore, the job was made very, very easy for Sam Collins. To turn 1 again. Nice to have your company wherever you're joining us, all around Australia, all around the world. In fact, we know those of you in New Zealand Very early start tomorrow morning, of course. It's already 25 past 10 over there. You're going to be very sleep deprived for the Anzac memorial services tomorrow morning. But it's well worth it when you're being treated with such quality racing here. And of course, when it's such a significant occasion as tomorrow is with the 105th anniversary, that landing in Gallipoli. We watch another positional battle unfold here further up the circuit. This is going into the right left at the end of the back straight. That's the 56. That's of course once again came Baxter Smith on our screen there, trying to find a way by. We'll come back to that a little bit later on. So what are we? Lap 6 of 22 here. If you're just joining us, so that gives you a race distance, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a big race tonight, obviously. 22 laps around here is, well, it's just over 154 kilometres.
Yeah.
So it's a big one tonight.
Half a Grand Prix distance.
Exactly. The Grand Prix is 44 laps, of course. Now, to be accurate, 154.088. I didn't have the calculator out. I had to go off my head. My initial simple general maths is good, but then when you talk decimal points, I'm lost.
Good evening, and thanks for the follow there, Paul.
Hello to you, Robert Hazeltine, chiming in again. Nice to hear from you. We'll get an update from you as the race goes on, I'm sure. Now, this battle unfolding here came back to Smith, just cleared the 777. So Kane Baxter Smith is moving up through the field here.
Now Sam's on the back of it's Dwayne Priest in the 777.
That's right. The new name on my sheet here. The Priest sits there. The meat and the sandwich at the moment. Sam Collins all over the back of him, trying to find a way by. No, Collins ducks into the pit lane. Into the pit lane. So he's undertaking his compulsory pit stop right here, right now.
Roughly getting 8 laps per tank. So what's that? Two lots of 8 makes 16. A third lot will make it 24. So maybe he's pitting in early to try and get a bit of a leapfrog because there are 2 laps in hand. There's a couple more cars in the pit lane. Try and see who they are. Lockie Gardner's in there.
Maybe perform the undercut, do you think, Nick?
Yeah, exactly. Lockie's just leaving now. Sean Evans is in the pits as well. Good to see Lockie Gardner slowly getting his handle on this. And he comes out on my screen just in front of John McLaughlin, who I think pitted at the same time as Callum Watmore. So, speaking of which, Callum Watmore, he's dropped off. He is at the back end of the circuit. Wow. And
just not his night.
He's 2 minutes 15 behind the leader, so I think he might be taking it easy.
He might be waiting for this clamp down caution period to come, but if he's not careful, he's going to go a lap down before that. However, if he's the only one a lap down, he'll get the lucky dog, won't he? So no harm, no foul.
Yep. We currently have Gavin Sadler's packed it in, he's gone, and David Baz is gone as well. So there's no cars a lap down.
We have got a couple of retirements.
Yeah.
Or withdrawals in this case. Well, by that being said, there were a few cars that got served up pretty good.
Pretty hard. And we still have
Yeah.
All Postlethwaite's just ticked over to pits. Yep, he's in pit lane now. Daniel Ackland looks like he's followed him in, so that means Chris Whitaker is staying on track and he's going to take the lead.
Very good evening to Stuart Walker, Liam Thompson, Darren Curry, all tuning in via Facebook Live this evening. Good to have you with us. There are 20 of you tuning into the Facebook live stream feed at the moment. Oh, here's the 78 having another spin. Another spin for Justin Howe on his entrance to pit lane. Gathered it up, didn't lose too much time. But, oh, gee, they've been pushing the limits tonight, these drivers.
A lot more cars pitting in, and it looks like it's about the end of the... Yep, it's lap 8, so it's about the end of the fuel tank.
You wouldn't want to be trying to push it to 9, that's for sure. It's amazing that they've got such a small fuel tank around here.
Yeah, they're restricted to 50%.
Kilometers.
Yeah, 50% fuels to actually force them to have a pit stop.
Going to force 2 in this instance.
Yeah.
Now, there's the 707. And quickly we move back to the number 30 on our screen there. That's Michael Schreier. And he's got the 56 that came. Baxter Smith still right on his tail as they head out of Eau Rouge. Closing in on a car ahead of them there. Boy, oh boy, if you're not enjoying this racing, folks, you're difficult to please. Friday Night Motorsport, how good is it? It's thrown up everything so far here at Spa. Famed host of the Belgian Grand Prix, although we should have point out, you mentioned the sports car race 24-hour earlier as well, Nick. We should point out mass gathering restrictions remain in place in Belgium until August 31 at this stage, and that could well put pay to the Belgian Grand Prix, which was due to be hosted on the 28th, 30th weekend.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't get postponed, it may well get cancelled. There's an extraordinary amount of uncertainty regarding the Formula One season at the moment. I know they want to get as many races in as they can. They might run 2 races in some venues. We just don't know what's going to happen. But hopefully the famed races, we've lost Monaco. That's really unfortunate. But hopefully we'll get Belgium, Italy, the famed venues like Monza and Spa hosting the Grand Prix at some point this year. We know the British Grand Prix is on track to be the season opener. And well done to the people at the Red Bull Ring and the Austrian government as well, who've said we'd love to see F1 race here behind closed doors. We'll open the border for them.
And we can quickly focus on Chris Whitaker, who's just jumped into pit lane now. This will be a chance to get in and get a bit closer to Glenn Postlethwaite. We'll see what happens here. So Chris Whitaker's just completed his 9th lap. So he got 9 laps out on that tank.
I need to just chime in there, Nick, and say we've got still 18 people watching via Facebook Live. The great man Chris Harrison, coach, good on you, mate, listening or tuning in via Facebook Live down there in Bathurst this evening, the old housemate. He'd be very thankful that I'm about 1,000 kilometres away at the moment, not making noise in his house. There's no doubt about that, but we'll be looking forward to getting up nice and early for the Anzac Day commemorations tomorrow morning. So hello to you and the rest of the crew down there, mate. As we
Brock
watch a
Payne
spinner.
had his hands full.
Brock Payne, jeez. Yeah, he had his hands full last week as well.
And Justin Howe going on the inside of turn 1. So Brock Payne's actually running a paint job that he ran on his improved production distance Sylvia.
And he's a good little steerer as well, is Brock Payne. Really looking forward to seeing him get back behind the wheel of a race car trackside very shortly. And hello to his dad Matt, who's tuning in via Facebook Live this evening as well. Don't be looking for the ride. So we ride on board down the back straight here at Spa. And it's all about the slipstream, trying to get the toe, get an extra little bit of speed under your belt. Then you've got to remember that you've got that speed on board and pull it up going into turn 6 and 7 as it is down there. So some nice onboard shots for you. We've got a hell of a lot of them at our disposal here, ladies and gentlemen. And Rob's just showcasing some of them for you at the moment.
Looks like Glenn has retaken the lead with his teammate in tow. Oh no, my apologies. Just trying to see how this all cleanses out. Hopefully the safety car is not too far away. And it looks like Chris Whitaker's filtered back out into 3rd. Oh, and as I say it, out comes our safety car.
There we go. We've been waiting for it all night. This now bunches the field up and just makes things a little bit more interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and gives Callum Watmore a chance to get onto the tail of the field.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, my goodness, he's had a shocker of a run thus far.
I can see on the track map that Glenn Postlethwaite, the leader, is just going through the bus stop where Callum's only pulling up to the top of the hill at Lake Com there, so he's got a fair bit to catch up. These safety cars are generally 3 laps, so this is going to chew a fair bit of time, so we'll see how this all works out for everybody.
From a time certainty standpoint, it could kill us. You're right.
Could, possibly.
So you'll notice on the bottom corner of your screen there where the track map is, ladies and gentlemen, the word caution is highlighted with a green backlog or background. Not the case, it should be pro, but we're doing it because it blends in with the yellow flag there, obviously. So yellow flags, safety car conditions. We've got our first caution of the race. And this could throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Watch the restart as the field zooms into Eau Rouge. I think that could make or break a few people's restart here.
Just while we got this bit of reprieve there, I'd just like to say thank you to Doadrift for providing us with the brilliant broadcast and vision here. LJ Hooker Gander and Central Coast Subaru for making it all happen.
Well, while we've got this low as well, Nick, maybe a good opportunity to refresh everyone's memory of what the race order is. I know you've got that info in front of you, I don't.
Yeah, so behind this week's safety truck.
There it is on the screen now.
Glenn Postlethwaite, there you go, you can see it, official pace truck. Glenn Postlethwaite leading from Daniel Ackland. In third position in the DGC Turbos car is Chris Whitaker, with Trent Laves, who's having a brilliant, well, I'm not going to say it, am I? I'll just put the mocker on someone. Trent Laves in fourth.
Just done it. Yeah.
And Michael Schreier in fifth. We got AJ Alex John in sixth, followed by 007. That's right, he's got a new car this week as well, Mr. Michael Hammond in seventh, funnily enough. Justin Howe in the plain grey car in eighth, followed by Brock Payne in that lovely white, pink and blue car in ninth, and rounding out the 10 is Brendan Jackson. In 11th, we got Lockie Gardner. Looks like he's got a better grip on these cars this week. Followed by TA2 Zone John McLaughlin. Sam Collins in 13th, with Kane Baxter Smith in 14th. Ben Snell Snellervision in 15th. With Sean Evans in, sounds to me like it's Rob's favourite car, the Dollar General, in 16th. The other Whitaker brother, Brendan, in 17th, as they just come through the double left-hander Pujon. Kester Ward catching back up again, our official photographer, in 18th. Mr. Chris Polly doing double duties again in 19th. And in 20th, Callum Watmore. Considering he was last at the first corner, he's done all right.
He's done not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Catching back up is Scott Griffiths in 21st. I'll click on this. Nicholas Windsor. He's currently in pits and he's in the big bottom Ford Mustang. He's currently getting service, and Chris Isby is the only car. Is he the only car? Here's a car first car a lap down. It looks like everybody else has either retired or finished up. So that's our top 23 competitors out of the 30 that started, out of the 29 that started this race.
I was going to say, if you think the removal of a few competitors will make the restart any less hairy, think again, ladies and gentlemen. Geez, that was a hairy opening few laps there. And it'll be the same off the restart here. Watch for Callum Watmore. Watch for anyone that's on a different strategy fuel-wise. Anyone that's got to pit lap 14 instead of 16. Now, it's also interesting as well. Anyone that was tuning in last week, any viewers that we had last week will have noticed that we didn't actually have the safety car on track per se. This week we do. It's a bit different. Got the safety car officially on the circuit. Last week it was just a clamp down situation, a virtual safety car sort of thing.
Is that a setting or is that an
actual safety car intermission?
Is that a map thing, Nick, or is that a setting in iRacing? What is that?
It was a particular admin thing. If you're an admin in the server, you can actually right-click and throw the safety car, which our illustrious Paul Nichols is. But they did a clamp down instead, which I've now made sure we're all on the same page. So we'll be safety cars from now on for the next rounds of this season.
I'm wondering if after the race I might ask Paul the question about the safety car, because obviously we didn't see any incident that led to it, whether it was just something that race control said right now's the time to deploy it, a competition caution, we'd see it in NASCAR as a regular thing, or whether there was an incident that we missed on circuit here.
Yeah, well there was talk of having just a clamp down, but just for ease of use, especially in iRacing, I know at, say, Queensland Raceway and at Winton Raceway, you have your little radios and the
that's right.
the the guys will tell you what to do. Whereas in iRacing, it actually prints it at the top of your screen and tells you where you need to be and who you need to be behind. So if you have an official safety car, it gets rid of all the uncertainty, and it's printed right there in front of you on your screen, so you know exactly where you have to be. So and I know from running it myself, it makes adminning a hell of a lot easier.
Yes.
Somebody needs a wave by, just right click on their name, wave them by. Very
That's
easy.
it. So
The unfortunate part about it is it takes, especially around 7 kilometers a track truck, it's going to be a long time.
Actually, probably a good time to chime in. I found a very amusing and very strange loophole in the Formula 1 2019 PlayStation 4 game today, right? Speaking of the safety car and everything else, Monaco, lap 2, safety car, I'm the leader of the pack. You've got to join, you've got to, park in behind the safety car and follow it around. I made the mistake of passing the safety car, but it didn't ask me to redress the position. It just gave me a green light and away you go. Keep going around. So I got to go full throttle for another lap and come around and join on the back. In the meantime, every other car that got past, or that passed the safety car, even with the green lights on, got pinged for ignoring yellow flags and disqualified from the race. I was the only car left. I was the only car left. The easiest 26 points you'll ever bag in career mode, let me tell you.
The easiest points you'll ever get at Monaco.
Oh, it's just, I know. So it made for a very boring Monaco Grand Prix, very uneventful Monaco Grand Prix, but disqualifications were the talking point. The funniest thing was, because like if you retire in your 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, whatever, you get championship points. Because you get disqualified, you don't. So I just got 26 free. I got a free kick for 26 points, so I was really happy with that. Peter Burns has joined the broadcast. Shane Jones, the pride of South Australia, up in Bundaberg. Good on you, mate. He's joined in as well. I was talking earlier about two MCE colleagues. Jones is one of them. The alumni of 2009.
Jonesy has said he'd be happy to jump on one of these streams one time, so we'll have to tee him up for that and get him on, especially for the after show.
We will have to get Mark Jones into that. I think we've got to set him up with a better computer firstly, so that he can get the software.
If there's anyone out there who runs a computer store who's willing to help out Jonesy, get him set up with something so we can get him on here, let us know.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I haven't seen Mark's name pop up on the list of people tuning in tonight, so we'll have to
speaking of
check
tuning
that
in,
out. Yes, mate.
We got 32 people watching on Twitch. Make sure you leave a comment, guys.
Welcome to Twitch.
Apparently we have
19
20
on
Facebook. Yeah, exactly. So guys, make sure you hit the like button. The lights are out on the safety truck, guys. So buckle up, get ready. We've got another 11 laps to go.
This is going to be fun. Off the restart. Possibly the car to watch here.
And Chronic Yola, thank you for the follow.
Pace car off. Race back on. Couple of cars wanted to jump the gun and go early, but the cue to go is impossible. Blade's heads. He puts the foot to the floor. Let's get it back on, ladies and gentlemen, here at Spa. Watch for Callum Watmore coming through from 20th position in the pack there, ladies and gentlemen, as they hit turn 1. Possibly the leader were a little bit more sensible this time around, but there's 11 laps to go. Anything can happen from here.
So, Nick, we just had a question. What track is up next for next week?
Okay, next week is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Very good. Nice circuit. Montreal venue, home of the Canadian Grand Prix. That'll be fantastic. So we go from one Grand Prix venue to another next week, folks. Come back and join us same time, same place next week, the 1st of May.
A couple more cars have pitted. I've just noticed as well. So it's going to be interesting.
Time to pit.
Yeah. Maybe it's Ben Snell, and we know he can make. Somehow he must have a petrol siphon or something in the back of his car. He makes fuel. So with just over 10 laps to go, can he make it? Will he short shift and clutch and coast?
He will indeed. Now, running order, possibly the leader, Ackland second, Whittaker third, Laves fourth. We know a second pit stop is coming. It's interesting that these guys that are in the lane now pick straight off the safety car restart to go there. Maybe they've got some tactics at play. We shall wait and see. I've got my eyes on Callum Watmore. I want to see where he comes back through in all of this. 18th at the moment, my lap board tells me. No carnage yet. Touch wood of this restart. Famous last words. We've seen so much of it already tonight.
Well, Callum Watmore is right on the tail of John McLaughlin, so these two have been on a similar strategy most of the night. I think they're just going to go nose to tail and try and make their way back up through the field, but wow, it is a busy track.
Indeed it is. And even with a depleted field, it's a busy circuit. There's something happening all the way around. Oh, big one. There's a big one, folks. We're waiting for it. The 78. Justin Howe had a big moment, stuck in the middle of the track, and he got cleaned up by two of them. Did Watmore get involved in that again as well?
Yes, he did, yeah.
Oh, no. He's just not having a great night, as our mate Carl Watmore. Dear, oh dear. That was asking for trouble. Whenever a car's parked in the middle of the circuit on a blind corner like that, there's three of them strutting the lane. Watmore, Howe, and the green car in the middle. Into the lane, aerial shot from Spa.
I think that's Kester Ward. Yeah, that chrome green car, unfortunately for him.
Oh boy, he's had his backside ended tonight, alright? His Facebook post was highly accurate.
Darren Curry, welcome to the stream, mate. Thanks for following.
Actually, it's funny. Darren was watching via Facebook as well, so he's now watching via Twitch as well, so that's good stuff. Twitch is becoming a very popular platform these days. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, 3 wide until they come. Far out.
That was hairy and brave. And thankfully, clean.
There's just all these mini races going on. There's everybody's battling for sheep stations.
Leader is possible. Ladies 1.5 seconds clear of Ackland. Whitaker in behind them. Oh, the 64's been served up into the wall. That's Sam Collins.
Sam Collins and Lockie Gardner. Wow.
Oh, two of the QR Sports sedan regulars have come together in the virtual world.
I'm going to have some fun saying this, but Chunkinator23, thanks for joining the grumble, my friend.
Can we even say that? No. Hey,
we have a car that says big ass all over it. We can say what we want.
I'm not going to test that theory, okay? I still can't believe that Collins and Gardner have come together. There'll be words over that, no doubt. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What great racing here. And it's not over yet. 10 to go.
You're not in the top 3, you've hit something.
Exactly right. So Postlethwaite's in the clear. Ackland's in the clear. Whitaker's in the clear. And they're coming across the start-finish line now to complete another lap. So that'll make it 9 to go this time. Or is it 10? It might be 10 to go. No, it is 9 to go. I had that right. So head down towards Eau Rouge once more. We've got some nice onboard shots happening here. Out of Eau Rouge. Did you notice they're taking a lot of the ripple strip on the entrance to that last corner of Eau Rouge and the run to turn 5?
That's it. You can use a lot of that ripple strip. You just can't go over where that white.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the second last ripple strip. You can't go where the white hatching is because that's where you'll get a slowed. So just having a look through the field. Wow, what a race so far. Callum Watmore's just coming across the line now, so he's going again.
Oh, we suspected he'd get going again. It's just not been his night. I can't wait to have to hear his thoughts on this at the end of the night. Stick around with us, folks. Post-race show is going to be very entertaining.
Ping pong ball.
Yeah, after everything we've seen here so far, it all started at turn 1, and something tells me that there'll be action of plenty still on the last lap here.
Oh, yeah, well. That's right. There's still 9 to go. There's plenty to happen.
9 to go, or are we going to, I'll have to have a chat to Rob on this, are we going to reach a time certain point? I'm not quite sure on that. Hopefully they'll let it run the whole way. Because with that safety car intervention, that does bring the time certainty factor into question.
Yeah, might be short by a lap, but we'll see.
Hopefully not. I despise time certain finishes. I have to say that's just my theory on it. Set a distance and stick to it. That's what I like to see. Unfortunately, one mainstream category in Australian motorsport doesn't agree with me on that, even in iRacing.
There's a good battle up here for Chris Whitaker, Trent Laves, Michael Schreier, and it looks like Alex John's just coming onto the back of that as well. And he just run off circuit.
So that's Laves ahead of us in this shot here.
Yeah, Trent Laves in that green car.
Yep.
Skid control on the side, KE. What does it say? KEZW on the bonnet.
So Whitaker, Laves, Schreier. That's the battle. Aerial shot shows the pit complex at Spa. How good's the R down for us? That's fantastic, isn't it? As they head out of turn, well, we just went from turn 1 over to turn 15, 16, I think, and now the run up towards the chicane at 19 and 20. So we hope you're enjoying the aerial views from Belgium on this Anzac Day Eve 2020. Friday Night Motorsport.
Thanks for the follow there, Warren. Thanks for joining.
Having a look, Sean Evans is the car we were following there.
Yeah, number 4, yeah.
Of Australian Trans Am fame, of course, up here in Queensland. Oh, he had his fair share of hard luck stories last year. Poor old Sean Evans.
Just looking on Twitch.
Hopefully iRacing will treat him a little bit better.
Just looking on Twitch here. Giggle, frown. Go Speed Racer, go. I don't know who he's referring to, but anyway. Interactive TV at its best.
I'll have to go back and have a look at the Twitch comments later. I'm only following the Facebook feed at the moment. I don't have 15 monitors at my disposal here. That's something I might have to work on for future broadcasts.
Well, please, guys, comment on Facebook and on Twitch. Especially on Facebook, give us those like buttons as well.
Matt Payne, just as you say that, Matt Payne just commented and said, great job, Zach and Nick. Good on you, mate. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Action aplenty around here.
Now, I was going to say we had someone in the chat room there for a moment, but we don't anymore. So we'll look forward to chatting to some of our drivers after the fact here tonight. Stick around for that, ladies and gentlemen.
32 viewers currently on the Twitch stream, which is good.
Only 13 on Facebook, but that's a combined total of 45, so we'll take that. That's all right.
Maybe they're going back and forth.
Could be. Could be, seeing which is the better feed. I think they're both the same, if memory serves.
If
Now
Mr. Director would like to go up to 3rd place here, there is a big battle going on here.
I was going to say, that was a cracking shot we just got on the feed of Eau Rouge. Now,
oh, right.
here's the battle you want to have a look at.
Chris Whitaker had to defend into the bus stop chicane, but the more he does that, the more he backs everybody up.
Yep.
And then Brock Payne will be on the end of this line pretty soon.
Chris Whitaker, Trent Laves, that's
Michael Schreier.
Michael Schreier, that's the battle we're looking at here at the moment, folks.
And
Whitaker,
then
third,
AJ.
Laves, fourth. Schreier, then AJ, then
Brock.
Payne in seventh. Having a great run. Actually, it's so good to see Brock having a good run because he didn't have a great run last week. So it's nice to see.
That's it. I think these more open circuits, these guys who are catching up, this suits them a lot better, such as your Lucky Gardeners and your Brock Payne.
Now, is there a similar rule to last week where there won't be a safety car in the last 10 laps? So we're green
Correct.
from this point on?
Greening from this point on.
Right, so if you make a boo-boo now, you pay for the price. Because there's no coming back. There's no redemption. There's no safety car to get you out of jail. So all eyes are on the prize at the moment. It's eyes forward. It's total concentration from these guys. As I said earlier, once you're in the zone, you're in the zone. It doesn't matter whether you're in the simulator or in the real thing. You're thinking about racing, you're thinking about consistency and fast laps, Rob.
On the screen, you'll see that on the windscreen, there's a smudge, like a bug smudge. I thought that was on my computer screen, and I've spent the last 10 seconds trying to wipe it off. That's actually...
When they go into pits, they got tear-offs, and that'll come off.
Yeah. So that's actual bug splatter in the game. Well, the simulator, I should say.
Bike and rubber spud. You get into the open wheelers as well.
That's incredible, isn't it? That level of detail that they go to hamper your visibility like that. That is brilliant. The fact that it caught Rob out is even funnier. Now, on the run out of the seconds sector, the run through to turns 19 and 20 now. This should be fun. 21 of you joining the broadcast here on Facebook Live as well. Hello to you, Simon Garland. There's a school pal of mine from many years ago from down there in the Hunter Valley. Hope you're enjoying your Friday night, mate. Hope all's well.
And, we got a bit of a pit party happening.
We've got pit stops. So Whittaker's in, Graves is in. Then, of course, you've got Schreier in. Did AJ follow them in as well? I think
AJ's
he
in
did.
as well.
Now, what does that mean for Brock Payne?
Brock Payne's in as well.
So he's in too. So everyone's in. This could make or break the race for some of these guys. Whoever's fastest in and out, whoever can win the pit stop battle could benefit with track position here. Watch the pit lane, folks. This is where the race could be made or broken for some of these guys.
Number 97, Brendan Jackson, has continued on, and lo and behold, Kane Baxter-Smith in number 56 has continued on as well. Looks like they're getting, a lot of them are getting 4 tyres, which is going to bode well for later in the race.
Well, this is right. We were talking earlier about the NASCARs being very hard on tyres. So if you can take 4 fresh ones, do it.
Trent Laves has Chris Whittaker in the pit. Might have got 2 tyres instead of 4.
So Laves may be playing a gamble game there. Whittaker on his tail now as they head to turn to the S bend here at the end of the back straight. So that's 7, 8, and 9 that we're looking at now. And the run down to the hairpin at 10, and Whittaker's all over the back of Laves. He had a tremendous run through there. Let's watch this battle. This should be the battle for 3rd and 4th in the motor race. And Whittaker is right there. Trent Laves has got his mirror full of Chris Whittaker's 33 car right here, right now. And he's got his hands full to keep him at bay as well. On the run up to turn. Oh boy, that was close on the run up into turn 13 and 14. How good's that?
Double left-hander. This is Pujon. Such fun names that they have in Belgium. But I just looked ahead. Glenn Postlethwaite and Daniel Ackland have pitted as well, so they must have just got out just as these guys were getting in.
It's interesting, isn't it? Pujon is listed as 1 corner, although if you're in America, they'd probably list it as 2. It'd probably be 12 and 13. Now, here they come, out of sector 2. Waves a little bit wide, that gives Whittaker a step, but he's going to be on the outside for the first half of this, unless he can clear him. He hasn't cleared him yet, now he has. So Whittaker's got his nose in front. Back into 3rd goes Whittaker. Got by Laves, there's a little slip up from Laves coming out of sector 2, and Whittaker's pounced. Nicely done, up into 3rd. Or back into 3rd as it were. Laves now left to do the work, the hard work, as they go into turn 19 and 20 back to the main straight. What's it going to be? 6 to go this time.
So currently, Brendan Jackson and Kane Baxter-Smith are pitting now. So now the new leader, it hasn't come up on our screens yet, but the new leader is Glenn Postlethwaite.
Not really surprising. Glenn's dominated this race the last 2 weeks. He dominated at Road Atlanta, and he's led from pretty well to start here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium as well. Onto the back straight. The run up the Camel Straight towards Lycombe. 7, 8, and 9. The end of the first sector. Graves has lost ground to Whittaker. However, what do we see here? Has Laves gambled on tyres? What's Whittaker done in that same regard? Who's going to be running around on very old and worn rubber at the end of this thing?
Yeah, I was talking to some other drivers, and they were saying it's about 3 laps, and then you got a big drop off on their tyres. So maybe gambling on only taking 2 tyres might not have been the right call, but we'll see. Got track position, and they've pulled out a gap over Michael
Well, that's the thing that surprised me the most. Look at that. 3 seconds back to Schreier, 6 seconds back to AJ, 12 seconds back to Brock. So these two leapfrogged and then accelerated away. And have they jumped the gun? And how much of a handful are these cars going to be once the tyre wear really becomes a factor? 5 to go here on a Friday night, or a Friday afternoon at Spa. That's the great thing about this. Because we're playing in parts of the world where it's still daylight, it still feels like we're watching it at the right time.
Yeah.
It actually feels like it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon at Spa. That's good. Now, through they come. The run down to Eau Rouge, turns 3, 4, and 5. We haven't seen maybe as much carnage as I thought we would tonight. And there's what Rob was alluding to earlier.
His favourite car.
Yes.
This is my car of the night.
Big A Racing, as it's called. Yes, very nice. Well, there you go. And spelt in the American way, which is typical NASCAR. Even though it's an Australian server, we couldn't spell that correctly. Oh, well. Neither here nor there.
You just need to get off his ass there, Zach, with that. Give him a break.
Thank you. I wasn't going to say the word, but that's fine. Yes, righto. Welcome to the PG slot of Friday Night Motorsport on iRacing, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Hazeldine providing the PG content as we go back to Nick.
I was just going to say, just keeping an eye on Trent Laves. He's going to have to pull his socks up because if Michael Schreier behind him lapping about a second quicker on that last lap, and same with Alex John AJ as well. So he's going to, if he doesn't pick up another second or so, he's going to have those guys back on his tail before the end of this race.
So Whittaker's a clear and comfortable third at the moment, having cleared Trent Laves and gone on with it. Leader is Postlethwaite, second is Ackland. Big margin first to second here. Postlethwaite with a huge advance over Ackland. Callum Watmore's got back up in the 15th spot, I see. In what's been a very troublesome night at the office for him. As they make their way through the back section of the circuit down to turn 10.
Looks like 7th and 8th, Brock Payne and Brendan Jackson are the closest fight on the circuit right now.
So we'll watch and see if Payne can hold his own there.
Slowly making our way around, yeah.
So through turn 12 they go. The run down to 13, 14. A lot of S-bend corners on this circuit. You think 7, 8 and 9. You think even Eau Rouge as well. You think 13, 14 and 19, 20. So there's 4 sets of S and zigzag bend sort of corners on this circuit. Some faster than others. 13, 14, probably the, well, 3, 4 and 5 are the fastest, obviously, Eau Rouge. 7, 8 and 9, then 13, 14. So they get gradually slower, those 4 sets of corners.
Brendan Jackson and Brock Payne side by side. Oh, Brock Payne's just back in front now. They're coming up to one of the fastest corners on the circuit, Blanchimont. They actually have to brake and down change in this corner. Formula One car, you're flat out. All open wheelers, you're flat out. But these guys have to get right off it and back on it again.
Again, the joys of the variety of motorsport. Some cars handle it better than others. NASCAR, they don't like turning left at the best of times.
Big and heavy.
Yeah, exactly. They're big and heavy, and that's why there's banking on so many overs, ladies and gentlemen. They just don't like turning at all.
Brendan Jackson's right up the back of Brock Payne here. I think he's going to have another go at the end of this straight. Brock Payne locking the rears, a little bit sideways. Let's see if it affects his run down the hill.
Right, so Payne holding his own in position number 7 there at the moment. We ride on board with Jackson down into Eau Rouge and up out of it. They hug the ripple strips. They're at 4 and 5. They accelerate onto the back straight. Great run onto the back straight from Payne. It's actually gradually pulled clear of Jackson there. It might make it a little bit too difficult for Jackson to find a way by on the inside as they get down to turn 7. That is exactly the case as Payne continues to hold down position number 7 at the moment. Craig Kelly joining the conversation on Facebook Live saying, go Lachlan Gardner. We'll get an update on his progress for you in just a moment. Nick?
I was just going to say, and lurking in the background is John McLaughlin, who's cleared that lap car now. So he's only a second behind these guys. If I'm just looking at my timing, he's only a second behind. Oh, sorry, 5 seconds behind. So he's not far.
Wait to see how all this will play out. A beautiful aerial shot of turn 12 there. They head down to campus and Stavelot, the next set of corners here, 13, 14, 15 and 16.
Just
Payne
an update.
holding the position.
Update for those people asking. Lachlan Gardner is currently sitting in 18th position.
Thank you.
Just
I was one of those people, so that's good. Thank you. 3 to go, so it'll be 3 to go for Postlethwaite, who's, I believe, already started his 20th lap. There's a quick look through about 5 or 6 different cars in the field. I believe this is Callum Watmore that we've just picked up on our screen here going into turn 7.
It's Lockie Gardner.
Oh, it's Lockie Gardner, actually. Thank you.
Yep, 707.
I was going to say they both look somewhat similar in terms of their paint colours. So
one of the benefits of running on the Twitch and Facebook and everything is that I can, if people ask for specific things, I can flick to it quickly.
Fair enough. So we're following Lachlan Gardner right here, right now. It hasn't been a great run for him. He was involved in some of that trouble in the early laps, but he seems to be trotting along quite nicely now.
Lapping in the 29s. Just clears a lap car number 41. Who's that? Scott Griffiths.
Just want to be clear for anyone that might be a little bit confused. We're talking 2 29s here, ladies and gentlemen, not 1 29s. Circuit being 7 kilometres, just a little bit slower to get around for these NASCARs than what we were talking about with Formula 1 earlier in the show. So, no, it's a very long lap, and 2:24 I think was the pace in qualifying. So,
yeah, that was the pole. Yeah.
This is about right for race pace. 2:28, 2:29. Long lap, and sizable time difference between NASCAR and also what we saw in Formula 1 last year as well when they visited the venue.
Brock Payne and Brendan Jackson just seem to have magnets on their cars because they separated by 3/10 across the line the last lap through. 2 to go on our graphics on screen. Just to remind us, is Glenn Postlethwaite leading from Daniel Ackland and Chris Whittaker in third. Been an exciting race. There's all sorts of things going on. Make sure, guys and girls, if you are watching, make sure you leave us a comment on both Facebook and or Twitch. Make sure you hit the like button and also the share button, please. Let people know that you're watching this. And if you're on Twitch, hit that subscribe button.
Be notified when we go live. It's funny.
If you subscribe, you may notice that I have some fancy new emotes in the Twitch, which you can unlock by subscribing, as well as a lot of other things. But if you want to be able to spam my pug dog's face through there, or my face, as I'm sure you all want to, there's also some badges and things for how long you've been subscribed. There's a lot of cool features, and I'm adding some more stuff to it soon, so keep an eye on that.
No comment on the pug or your face, actually, Rob, if you don't mind me saying so. I'll have a chat to you about what you might be able to put in there to appeal to me a little bit later on. But we make our way around the back section of the circuit here on the run up towards the main straight. Here we go. This is this ongoing battle between Jackson and Payne, and Jackson still not yet able to find a way by. Last lap of the motor race right here, right now. So look for Glenn Postlethwaite. He'll be coming home this time round to take the checkered flag and the race win. But this battle is not yet decided. Through turn 2 on the run down to Eau Rouge. 3, 4, 5. Brock Payne has to be picture perfect on this final lap if he's going to be able to win this battle for position number 7. He has to be centimetre perfect, as Dennis Cometti would say. Now look at Trent Laves. He's in a fight and a half.
Oh,
AJ all over his tail right here as they exit turn 9 on the run down to turn 10. AJ might have a sniff here going into 10. They touch! They touch!
Oh,
They're both off at turn 10! That was the touch from AJ onto Laves that unraveled them both. Graves will win the battle because he gets back on the track easier and quicker.
Right
He'll
in front
get
of Brock
going.
Payne and Brendan Jackson as well.
What drama here? Laves just got unloaded by AJ on the run into 10. You saw it from the aerial shot. What drama in the closing stages when AJ had a perfect opportunity to try and find a way into position number 5.
Yes, so that will be 4 tyres versus 2. He did
Yeah,
clip
this
pretty
is
quick.
very true. Now, have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Just have a look at this bloke. Show off, for lack of better words. This is Glenn Postlethwaite just having too much fun with it on the last lap because he's that clear and comfortable it isn't funny. He's won the damn thing by a country mile, if you don't mind me saying so. Last turn, checkered flag. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. He did the job last week at Road Atlanta. He's going to get it done again here at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. Glenn Postlethwaite wins NASCAR on a Friday night. What about that? What a performance.
Oh, still going. Brock Payne and Brendan Jackson coming into the bus stop. Oh, I think Brock Payne might have this.
Let's try and get back there on our main feed out of the last corner. Payne has just got it done. So he was closing in on AJ. He couldn't get 6th in all of that, but he got 7th. He held off Jackson. Great job. Really well done. Glenn Postlethwaite, your winner. Nick will run through the full standings for you in just a moment, folks. Cracking night of racing here.
Ben Snell and Baxter Smith having a battle as well to the line. That'll be another close finish.
And Baxter Smith got the better of it from what I saw there. What a night. Lachlan Gardner's. Then, of course, you saw Callum Watmore got unloaded early on. It wasn't a great night for him. There's Sean Evans coming across the line as well. What a race. And Glenn Postlethwaite has done it again. A little bit of fancy schmancy sort of stuff on the last lap there. But when you're that far out in front, you can have as much fun as you like. Really good stuff. The last of the cars coming towards the line to take the checkered flag now, folks. In what's been a frustrating night for some. And
it feels like a long night. A big race.
It has been a long night. It has been a long race. And stick around because we're not done yet. We've got a post-race show coming up for you very shortly here. We'll have some of the drivers jumping into the chat room. Nico's standing by to have a chat to us as well. And we'll chime in and pose some questions his way, throw some questions his way rather,
Final
in just a few moments.
Ben O'Kobe, thank you very much for the subscribe there, mate. Much appreciated. Welcome to the Grumble, my friend.
Last car to cross the line is Kester Ward in 19th. So, looks like everybody's crossed the line now. What a race. So, just to recap.
Drama from
ladies
first
and
to
gents.
last.
Exactly, all the way through the field. From first to last, or from first to, we'll go all the way through to, I think, 20th. We had 20 cars finish. Glenn Postlethwaite is your victor by 2.1 seconds over Daniel Ackland. Chris Whitaker, 3rd place. And then Michael Schreier in 4th. Alex J. John in 5th. Brock Payne in 6th. Brendan Jackson in 7th. John McLaughlin in 8th, followed by Samuel Collins, 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is Brendan Whitaker.
And
go on?
Yeah, go on. Sorry, Nick. Go on.
I was going to say, in 11th, Ben Snell, followed by Sean Evans. Kane Baxter Smith in 13th, then Chris Polly. Lachlan Gardner in 15th, followed by Nicholas Windsor. And Kester Ward was the last guy on the lead lap. Then we had Trent Laves, who actually fell a lap down at the end there.
Oh, no.
Callum Watmore, Scott Griffiths, and Chris Kisby was the final car to complete the race.
All right. On the back
cars.
of what you just said there, Nick, I'm going to go straight to Nico and ask the question. What happened to Trent Laves there, mate, from what you saw? Obviously, you saw the incident with AJ as we did, but we were of the belief that he was on the same lap. Did he fail to make it to the finish? What happened?
Yeah, so I was actually in car with AJ. I was watching in car with AJ. I think just braking markers, AJ may have overshot that, and yeah, it's one of those racing incidents. But we have penalised AJ 5 points post race for that incident.
Okay, thought that might be the case. Thank you. Unlucky for Trent Laves. We'll hear from him very shortly. Chris Whitaker, well done, mate. That was a nice, solid performance from you on a Friday night, and it was key. The second round of pit stops there, you made light work of Trent Laves getting back into third on your return to the track. Well done, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. I think it kind of helped on the last stop there. Trent obviously took no tyres to get the jump, but around here, the degradation's just massive. The tyre temps are going through the roof, so yeah, you've got to take something. So the two lefts on the second stop there did the job, and yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of practice during the week with each other as well, so a lot of respect between the two of us. So we know where we're at. But no, it was a bloody good race. It was didn't have anywhere near the pace of the front guys, but just had to run the strategy and see if it'll work out, and hey, I guess it did at the end.
So in your instance, it was short-term pain in terms of losing the track time for long-term gain, getting it back, and then clearing out.
Yeah, exactly right. Not to be cocky, but I thought I had sort of one lap pace on Trent as it was anyway. So I thought, look, if he jumps me, which I saw him doing that in the pit, I'm like, oh, I've got the left side tyres. I know we'll just set him up for where he needs to use the drive on that side that he won't have. And yeah, it worked.
And mate, obviously two completely different tracks. Last week, right at Atlanta. This week, we had the famous Spa-Francorchamps. As you say, you guys have been preparing for this all week, but those first few laps were probably hairier than you anticipated.
Yeah, that whole first stint, I was just fuel saving, just seeing how long we could actually drag the thing out, and I was hoping that I'd be able to hang on the back of the other guys, but they just checked out straight away, just way too fast. So, just trying to fuel save, being that Trent was sitting behind me, then I think he had someone right behind him saving juice in the toe as well. So. We're just sort of running the numbers, and my fuel calculator worked this week, which is excellent. So obviously managed to get that extra lap on top of everyone else as well. So yeah, but the safety car probably could have come in a little bit later for me, but it still worked well anyway.
Still worked very well for you, mate. Obviously, your thoughts on racing these cars on this circuit. You mentioned the tyre degradation, but from what we saw, there's a lot of a difference in terms of lap speed compared to what you'd see in the GT cars in Formula One. But the racing spectacle was pretty good.
Yeah, the hardest part around here, I think, to go to the Xfinity cars from the likes of a GTE or a GT3 that has just mega aero is just trying to forget the normal braking points. Because you consider something like a GTE car and even an MX-5 use a similar braking marker, then you jump in this thing and you're braking 4 kilometers backwards.
Yes.
So it's very easy to sort of lose focus and miss your brake marker. I did that actually on the second last lap coming into Puan. I went miles wide just because I pulled the wrong brake marker. So. But the combo's awesome. They're bloody good fun around here. There's still a big, heavy lump of bolts, but overpowered, undertired, but they're bloody good fun.
He's always good for a quotable quote, is Chris Whitaker. Hang by there, mate. We'll come back to you in just a moment. Nick, I want to go back to you. There's a couple of other people in the chat room that we might be able to have a quick squiz with.
Yeah, I'll actually jump up and grab Glenn. I'll bring him down into the room. All right, so now we got our Victor, Glenn Postlethwaite. How was the race from your perspective, Glenn?
Hey guys, it was a pretty good night. On track that one.
Pretty good night, all right. The understatement of the year, Glenn. You just cleared out, mate. It looked like that was a very easy night at the office for you.
Yeah, it was a pretty good race. Had my teammate Daniel Ackland just behind me there, so that was good sort of working with him through the night. Sort of worked pretty well, and my other teammate Michael Stray come through the field pretty well.
Actually, he was involved in a pretty good battle with Chris Whitaker and Trent Laves there in the mid part of the race, and then once Chris cleared out, it was actually that second round of pit stops. I'll come back to you in a moment, Chris. That second round of pit stops really made and broke that battle right up because Trent and Chris got a leapfrog on everybody else, but Shreya's performance was brilliant. From your standpoint, Glenn, what'd you make of these cars on this circuit? I asked Chris the question. Now I want to get your thoughts as well.
I love this track. It's always sort of fast-flowing tracks, my style. So yeah, no, it's always sort of slide the car a bit with the throttle, which is sort of the way I like to drive. So
One of the great things, I guess, about iRacing is you get to see what cars like the NASCAR Xfinity Series cars would be like on circuits that we wouldn't normally get to see them on. Last week, Road Atlanta. This week, Spa. I'm all for more road racing in the real world NASCAR. I'm not sure the Americans would agree with us, but what are your thoughts?
I'd much rather watch NASCARs going around road courses.
Agreed.
100%. Hey, Chris, that battle there, you were at the front of it before the first round, or the second round of pit stops, I should say. It looked as though any slip up was going to bring the whole lot of you unstuck. If like we saw at the start of the race, we got a car parked in the middle of the circuit that was going to be dodgem cars. How important was the level of concentration during that period to not slip up and not potentially cause either a 5-car wreck or lose 5 places because you spun off the track?
Oh, I actually didn't realise there was that that big a Congo line behind me, to be honest. I thought it was only the two of them behind us. So all I was doing was just basically trying to drive to Trent's lap time, just sitting at about a second on the relative, and just save. So from where I was going flat out, I was at about 4.2, 4.3 litres a lap. I was down to a 3.7. So I was hoping that I could get an extra 2 laps on the field, but yeah, it didn't quite work.
No, not quite. Hey, Hester Ward, I want to bring you in at this point in time because you've joined the chat room, mate. I saw your post on Facebook today. I had to have a laugh at it, saying, "Come and watch me get my backside handed to me," for lack of better expression. And at points there during the night, mate, unfortunately, it looks like you handed it to yourself rather than having people hand it to you. What happened?
That first lap was just, let's say, full for lack of a better word. There was cars going left, right, and centre, and was interesting. And then just into the last couple of corners, I think Kane got into the back of me accidentally and sent me wildly. And then, thing that getting a drive through, which is what put me right out the back in the end. So at least my status was on point, I guess.
Yes, very much so. Most accurate post of the day. On the subject of the drive-through, what was that for, mate?
That was just for incident points there. That first
yeah.
lap got, I think I got 20 or so on the first lap just from people knocking each other. So
You've done well. We said there was a lot of action in the first. I would have loved to have seen who accumulated the most penalty points and all that. And probably Nico will be able to inform us and enlighten us on all of that very, very shortly, mate. Apart from the misfortune of that, how much enjoyment did you get out of driving these cars on this circuit? It looked like fun.
not something I would have probably picked myself. It's a bit left field, but it is. It's the cars aren't designed to do a track like this, so it really rewards you to be patient, which of course you don't want to because they're fun and they're very lively car to drive. So really got to sort of calm yourself down in order to actually be quick. Like credit to the guys up the front there to be that quick and that close to each other.
Yeah,
I think they were a good 5 or so seconds a lap quicker than me, which is that's a big gap.
Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is next. I'll go with the Kester first, and then we'll chat to Glenn and Chris about this. What are your thoughts on heading to Montreal?
Again, not a track that I've done a lot of laps around, so interesting. No doubt I'll try and...
We're losing you a bit there, mate. It's your mic seems to be cutting out a little bit.
We'll try and come back to Kester in just a moment. We'll go to Chris Whitaker firstly, mate. Xfinity cars have raced at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve before. We've all watched on as Marcus Ambrose has torn it up around there. We're looking forward to the racing next weekend. I'm sure you are as well.
It's not a track that I've done many laps around, to be honest. I've only done probably a handful of races there in any car, so I'll definitely have to get out and do a bit of practice. But it should be an interesting car. It's going to be a matter of how they ride the curbs, which they're not too bad around the likes of Spa. So I'd imagine they should be pretty good around there. But I won't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it either.
No, that's exactly right. What about you, Glenn? You've been unbeatable the last 2 weeks. Are we on for a three-peat?
I'll give it my best shot.
Good boy.
It's a good track. I've done a few laps around it in the V8, but obviously not in a NASCAR. Definitely used to hitting the curbs in the V8, so it's going to be hard to keep off them in the NASCAR. I don't think it's going to end well if we start using it.
No, we were a bit worried about that tonight, actually, but it looked as though everyone behaved themselves. On the subject of Obviously, you've done some laps around there in the supercar, as you say. Now turning attention to the NASCAR, how much time gets spent on the simulator preparing for next week between now and when we reconvene next Friday night?
Probably this week I just chucked up an hour hosted and did a couple laps. I was in the team, so
Yeah. Nice. That's what it's all about. Glad that you guys are all having fun with it. Chris Whitaker, your thoughts on prep for Montreal? How much time will be spent on the simulator, and what can we expect livery wise next week as well?
Oh, it's top secret for next week, so there will be another change. I can tell you that much. Okay, there's definitely going to be another change for next week. So,
I'd like to just point out that I ended up going and getting Taco Bell from the new Taco Bell Ipswich after last week.
You're
Don't
welcome.
talk to me about Taco Bell Ipswich, Robert, because they took away Sizzler to build that thing, and I'm not happy about it. Anyway, continue on.
I actually sent Kelly down to get it tonight, and they said it was going to be an hour for a burrito, so we ended up not having that, unfortunately.
Okay, fair
I
enough.
think you might need to run the Central Coast Motor Group and LJ Hooker livery.
That's it. Good point, Nico.
Another 2 weeks. Yeah.
I think we need to run through our own personal sponsors first, and once we're done with our own sponsors, then if we've got some room left on the car, then we'll throw the other guys out there for sure. But we know which one we're doing next week, so you'll just have to tune in and wait and see.
Tune in to find out. Yeah, exactly right. No teasers beforehand, obviously.
What was that? Sorry, bud.
No teasers beforehand. Nothing to tease us with on Facebook with regards to delivery next week.
Maybe we will throw a little teaser up. I haven't done the livery yet, so I'll probably
Okay.
paint it over the weekend or something. We'll go from there. But,
Just quickly.
yeah, in regards to the prep work, like we did quite a few. I think we did 3 hosted sessions. It's a bit embarrassing when you hear Posy go, "Oh yeah, we did an hour," and then he just smokes the field. But,
Sorry.
You're right, man.
Yes.
I posted up. I did 3 2-hour sessions through the week for a group of us, just all the Queensland boys. So. If there's any of the Queensland guys who are listening that weren't part of those groups, hit me up on Facebook or on Discord, and more than happy to have all the Queensland boys join in. We got to try, bridge this gap to Posy, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
There's definitely people out there. I know I personally get flooded on Facebook after we stream these with people asking me what computers they need and things like that. And hey, I'm quite happy to answer people. So if you want to message me after this, if you want to get into it, you want to know how to do it, what computer parts you need. Hell, you need me to build you a computer. Like I said, I've been out of work for 4 weeks, like everyone else, so I'm more than happy to help you with that.
The shameless plugs continue.
Mate, I'm getting desperate. That's
fair. Hey,
He's the director.
Yeah, true. I want to come back to Chris Whitaker for a moment, because you're talking about the prep work in terms of time spent driving these cars on the circuit. How much prep time do you put into the liveries?
That one wasn't too bad. The GCG Turbos one only took us probably 2-3 hours, something like that. And that was sort of learning the ropes, and I actually spent quite a bit of time trying to get the mirror finish to work, but I'm still gonna have to work out how to do that.
Is this something you offer other people as well, or you can offer lessons to people to do that sort of stuff? We're looking at.
I didn't think it was that brilliant, to be perfectly honest. It was just sort of something I knocked together, but I'm just using. I just downloaded the free version of GIMP. And I'd never used it before, so I was sort of learning on the run at the same time. But it seems a pretty good little piece of software. So.
I was going to say, I'm happy to send my PowerPoint created impersonation of the Nines Wide Water Sports logo to anyone that wants to run it on their car in the coming weeks as well. The old Zach's Wide Water Sports logo. We can do that. Trent Laves, let's go to you for a moment, because I'm glad that you're in the chat room, mate, and I'm sorry it's taken us this long to get to you. Obviously, served up nicely on the last lap there. What happened after that, mate? We obviously saw you go a lap down at the end.
Yeah, mate. Thanks for including us in the chat here. I was on for a ripper then. I was quite happy with me pace and giving Chris a bit of a hurry up. A bit depressing that he said he was conserving an old flat Bicky's trying to keep up with him, but it is what it is. And obviously, that's all right, mate. Hey, it was a good fun race, and basically I ballsed up the strategy there towards the end and ran out of fuel. By like 1 litre, I stopped on the back straight. That's how gutted I was. I was absolutely livid.
And that was after being punted into the wall?
Yeah.
So it wasn't going well.
It wasn't a question of damage. It was a question of fuel economy, and you just went a little bit too short. Okay.
Yeah,
I think
I was just so busy defending and watching old mate in my mirrors, I wasn't looking at my fuel numbers and just absolutely balls it up. So
we call that the Darren around here after last week.
This is true.
Trying to cut it too fine. I was all right there when I was
Hi,
behind.
Darren, if you're watching.
I was right there behind Chris there because he was like my nice little wind buffer, giving me a good fuel
gave you a
economy. And
tow.
then as soon as he gapped me on the crappy tyres, I was screwed. So, but it was a good fun race. So I was glad to actually be up there and messing with the good boys. It's a shame that Cal had a bit of a drama at the start there, and I'm glad I missed him, to be honest. I was right behind him at the start.
You only just missed
It would
him.
have looked good. I'll have to watch the
Oh,
replay
boy.
later. But what a cracking race, boys! That was good fun.
More
Regardless of
car-
my result, but anyway, it was good fun.
I was gonna say more carnage in this race than what we've seen in the previous 3 weeks, which bodes well for the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada, and we're looking forward to getting there next week. Your thoughts on that circuit, Trent? Since I've asked everyone else.
Well, these cars and high speed flowing European style tracks is just a cracking bit of fun. Obviously, Possie's a bit of an alien, and you can hang these things out all day, every day, and somehow not screw the tires up in them. But it'll be a lot of fun, I think. I've never turned a lap on this simulator in Gilles Villeneuve, so I'll be green as a thumb, and we'll see what happens next week.
Get to the simulator over the weekend, mate. Get some training in before next week. Whilst Chris Whitaker goes and worries about his livery, you can just try and get one up on him You can try and get one up on him on the training on the racetrack. So that'll be good fun for you. I look forward to seeing that battle resume next week. Your good mate Dylan Cotter was watching along earlier. You two must be looking forward to getting back racing trackside a little bit later on this year and the real thing.
Most certainly. We still haven't had a chance to really have a good crack at the GTR that we've just procured recently. So it'll be a shed load of fun, I think, once we finish tweaking it and get some laps in it. And I'm sure we'll be a bit of a hassle to some of those production guys.
I was going to say we don't normally get to see the GTRs in production car racing, so that's going to be interesting. I was about to ask you, but you sort of answered the question for me whether we're going to see you in time attacks or whether for the GTR this is, or whether we're going to see you in podcast. But I take it this is your 300 car.
I believe it's the goal, so we're going to try and do 300 Ks in a Nissan GTR without it braking. So fingers crossed.
Without it braking. Oh, don't put the mocker on yourself right from the get-go. Hey,
Well, you see how we drive these real cars. We drove that Toyota 86 at 150% every day, all day. It seemed to love it. I don't know. There's someone will be able to survive, but see.
And without a clutch in the latter stages of the last year's Willow Bank 300, wasn't it?
Yeah, the clutch stuck to the floor, so I was stuck in fourth gear for about 20 odd laps. So that was interesting. My pace wasn't too bad, though.
That's all you need in a. That's all you need in an
Huh?
8.6, isn't it? Is fourth gear or fifth gear?
Did they get out of fourth at
You
QR?
don't have to change gears in those, do you?
The back straight was very long in fourth gear, I guarantee you.
Oh, yeah.
As long enough as it was.
Well, that's right. It's a good thing you guys had a lead of about a lap and a half, or otherwise that could have been a very different tale of the
Yeah,
tape.
the oil pressure had something different to say, but it ended up coming all right in the end.
Exactly. Hey, I'll go back to Nick at this point in time, mate. Who else is in the chat room that we can have a chat to right now?
Well, there's some names, nicknames, so I don't know who's who in the zoo here. So
That's why I
it makes
threw
it a
it
bit
back
hard. I guess, well, we can start wrapping it up. And I was going to actually say, who was your driver of the night?
My driver of the night, gee. I really like how, and he's watching on Facebook Live now. I really like how Brock Payne responded to a difficult week last week. Brought it home, 7th spot, kept his cool under pressure on the last lap there, held off the challenge. He drove really well for mine. You can't obviously go past Glenn Postlethwaite again in terms of someone who just stole the show. The fact that he was able to light it up and, glide the car through the last 3 quarters and have a little bit of a show-off session there, that was terrific as well. And I know we've been talking to him, and I don't want to make it sound like it's bias or anything, but I really like how Chris drove throughout the night as well. So they're probably 3 guys that I'd choose. But in terms of my driver of the day, I've got to give it to the youngster Brock because he kept his cool in a situation where, yes, he was only battling for 7th, but in real racing terms, it's important to race right to the checkered flag, and he did that tonight. Kept his cool and brought it home in 7th and held off the challenge. So that was a really good thing for me to see.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm kind of along the same lines. It was working our way backwards. It was good to see Brock there. Really, actually, well, in a car that we all recognise as him. But
Yes.
also how much he's improved, especially with this more open track. I think a lot of guys have improved with this track. Unfortunately, there was some incidents at turn 1 and then
Yes.
turn 2, 3, and 4 on the first lap, which kind of put paid to a couple guys. But keeping on that same theme of improvement and the like, he's actually in this chat. I was going to say Trent there.
Yeah.
Last week, I don't have the results on hand, but what were you last week, Trent? You were
I was just on the backside of the top 10 last week.
top
Got
10,
11th.
and now you're well and truly in the top 10. Well, were well and truly in the top 10,
Yes.
save for the fuel. So I'd have to say, as much as your Chris Whitakers and your Glenn Postlethwaites, I don't think their sponsors are going to be too happy because they're out the front not getting airtime. But I think, I'd say Trent there for my taking for tonight's driver of the night.
Okay, so we've got 2 nominations there, and I have to say, honourable mention to Kester as well for being a man of his Facebook word. I quite liked that. Unfortunately, as bad as it was for him, his Facebook post read true to form by the end of the night. So that was really good there. Hey, quickly, gentlemen. Obviously, a lot to happen between now and next week. But what's the plan for tomorrow? How are we all commemorating Anzac Day? I want to go to Trent first.
I'll be just at home, mate, watching the sun come up and probably listen to the radio when the dawn service starts playing through, and pay my commiserations to everyone out there and all our lost and fallen members of the service.
West Brom Radio, who are big supporters of motorsport here at Queensland Raceway, they're running a service at 6 a.m. in the morning. ABC, of course, there are a few television stations doing things as well. So there's many different ways to tune into the Anzac Day commemorations, dawn services, and everything else. Tomorrow, Chris Whitaker, what about you?
Yeah, pretty well ditto from what Trent just said there. So just obviously in the circumstances surrounding us at the moment, it's going to be a little bit different being on the driveway, but it'll be interesting to see. I guess those that do come out of the driveway and those that don't come out on the driveway. So I think it'll probably actually bring a lot more people into it than what you traditionally have. It's all too easy for people to just sleep in when they don't get spotted. But if everyone's seeing that you went on your driveway, well, bit of peer pressure.
I was exactly right. That's the interesting thing, isn't it? I said in a piece that I've recorded for radio tomorrow morning that Anzac Day this year, the only difference for me is that I won't have the footy to watch. I get up, I watch the dawn service. It's a fair hike in from here in Leichhardt into Brisbane at 2:30 in the morning. So I mean, back in the day, I'd always be there for a 4:30 start in Bathurst and rugged up to the max, I can tell you. But for me, it's set the alarm, turn the TV on, watch the dawn service from Brisbane via Channel 9. That'll be no different tomorrow morning. I'll then do the stand out on the veranda stuff. So yes, from that standpoint, it's a lot easier for people to embrace. I mean, and also let's not forget Anzac Day, as special as an occasion as it is, there are many different ways to commemorate it. The dawn services, the marches, the parades, everything else, that's fantastic. For some people, it's just a little bit too impractical to get up and go at 4 or 3:30 in the morning to a dawn service. But credit to those that do, and credit to everyone that's going to get up tomorrow morning and be a part of it. I think it'll be one of those spine tingling sort of hair on the back of the neck moments. It always is when the last post gets played. Glenn Postlethwaite, you're the man with the target on your back for next week. But how's Anzac Day looking for you?
Yeah, it's going to be much the same as the other guys have just said. It's sort of, it's a bit strange being stuck at home at the moment, but as I said, we'll be getting up early and pay our respects to them.
And we must all be looking forward to getting back to the racetrack. But we're very lucky in the sense that in the world of motorsport, we have this virtual reality to escape into at a time like this. Gentlemen, well done tonight. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you all again, same time, same place next week.
Thanks, Zach, and good
Yeah.
to see you back again this week, mate.
Hey, actually, can I just say it was about a 3-minute call up. I got a message from Robert about 6:55 saying, "Are you able to jump in? I haven't got a second commentator." So it was very short notice, but we're able to pull it off. So
We've not seen
2 minutes.
we've not seen Phil for a bit. So if you're out there, mate, we miss you. Check in with us.
Having a good sleep.
He's too much Zelda. He's playing too much Zelda. That's what it is.
But no, in terms of what Chris was saying, it's great to be back with you guys. Thanks for putting on a good show and for having me part of it. And it's keeping the commentary vocal cords very much warm in readiness to return to the booth with Jonesy at QR, hopefully by the end of June for 2 Days of Thunder, which is an event that we're all looking forward to, of course. And Nick, I'll throw it back to you from here in Ipswich with a quick message of thanks for having me on board once again. Well done to our winners. Looking forward to next week. I'm not sure where we're going with the production cars and what cars they'll be in, but looking forward to that from, of course, 7 o'clock. And then NASCAR from the Ile Notre Dame, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada at 8 o'clock next Friday night, the first one of May. It'll be really good to see you then. And thanks again for the night, and well done as always.
Yes, well done to everybody. I just clicking in Discord here, just got a message from Phil. Have only just woke up, so over there in the UK. So hopefully he's watching this and
Thanks for your help, Phil.
Always the professional.
Hey, actually, he's done well because it's in the UK. It's about 20 to 1 in the afternoon. He's done well.
Woken up, before lunch.
I don't know about you, gentlemen. Before I know we were going to throw it back to Nick and wrap things up, but I don't know about you lot. But I'm finding it really hard to sleep my normal hours at the moment. I don't know how everyone else is going with this home lockdown, social isolation, distancing, all that rubbish. But I'm finding it really hard. Some days I'm absolutely worn out to the max and sleeping at 11 hours. Other nights I'm sleeping 5 hours and wide awake at 5 o'clock in the morning, waking up with Carl and Ali. It's a strange little period of our lives because our structure's being, upset and turned upside down. We're not doing everything we normally do. The only time I leave the house is to go to the shopping centre. My rubbish bin goes out more than I do. It's a strange time to be alive. And I just, so I'm completely envious of Phil at the moment because I'd love to be able to sleep that late into the day.
Well, they're in full lockdown in the UK too, so
that's right.
He's got the same deal as you that he's been
level
doing
4,
more.
I think.
Yeah. But
Netflix and Stan are getting a real good workout.
Hopefully we can get him on board next week. Hopefully he'll wake up. But
I'll be on standby regardless, mate. I'll be here.
We'll have you every week till the end, Zach.
Okay, sounds good.
Just quickly,
guys. Great call, guys. Awesome.
Like to say thank you to our admin staff that's listed here as the grandfather Major there, and Paul Nichols. Thank you guys for your assistance. I'd like to thank all the drivers who have turned up. I also like to big special thanks to Doadrift and Rob because we are getting our live stream through him. I'd like to say a big thank you to Zach and his commentary as well.
No worries, mate. Actually,
thanks,
just quickly, can we go back? I know we keep looking to wrap things up here, but we never actually got some final comments from Paul on all of this because obviously we thank the great people at Central Coast Subaru and LJ Hooker as well. But Paul, from your standpoint, mate, we forgot to ask you about the race we just saw. From race control standpoint, what'd you make of all of that? It was a great spectacle from our standpoint, and obviously there were a few penalty points handed out along the way.
There was, yeah. Look, there was some incidents there that, look, I don't think there was any malice in them. There were some, racing incidents that we thought we needed to pull up during the race. I think from the driver's point of view, they need to understand that we're looking at what's going on. If they don't redress it on track, we're going to hand them a penalty, which will be post-race. I don't want to throw 30-second stop goes. That's not what it's about. But we'll just we'll adjust the points based on what we're thrown.
Excellent. And Nick, thank you very much, Paul. Appreciate your help once again, as always, mate. Any idea where the production cars head to next Friday night in the first leg of the doubleheader?
It's always a mystery, and I'll let you know on Monday.
There's always a riddle to go with it. Paul likes to write these intricate
I like
riddles.
posting up riddles on Facebook, and if you guess it, good on you.
Riddle me this.
All right, you need to follow the Gentlemen's Racing Club on Facebook then, ladies and gentlemen, to find out all about that. And obviously we'll reconvene same time, same place next week. And hopefully by then, I have to say, Nick, it's quite extraordinary. It's still 29 degrees of a daytime here in Ipswich. It's the never-ending summer. Hopefully by next week, in the third month of autumn, we'll start to get a taste of autumn/winter here.
Worst part is we can't even go to the beach or anything, Zach.
Exactly.
Just fill your bathtub with sand. Like,
my dog's dragging off sand through the house to make me feel like a beach anyway. So
fill the driveway with sand, fill the bathroom water. Fantastic. Now, it's funny though that you say that, Rob, because those idiots in Sydney, they've just hello to everyone in Sydney, by the way. I love your work.
I've just watched all the people leave the stream now from Sydney. The numbers have dropped down. 3 people left.
See, this is the thing. They reopened the beaches, right? And everyone's flocked there, so they've had to close the bloody things again. And I just found it amusing because this is Sydney we're talking about, where it's not warm enough to be going into the water at this time of the year, unless you're a real keen surfer dude or something like that. And yet the first thing they do as soon as they reopen, oh, great, we can go to the beach again. Oh, no, sorry, too many of you are abusing the rules again. We're going to shut it down. See,
that happened today, did it?
That happened today.
Oh, really?
I saw something today before we come on air to say that the Sydney beaches have been closed again, not 3 or 4 days after being reopened.
Obviously, Donald
Just
Trump supporters.
Yeah.
All right, I better wrap this up, guys.
Yes, go for it.
I think Rob wants to get on to do his actual schedule.
Oh, I'm not fussed. I'm having a great chat here. This is excellent.
All right, so just to finish this all off, this broadcast today was brought to you by Doadrift. I'd like to thank Doadrift, and our racing league is the Gentlemen's Racing Club. You can find us on Facebook and on iRacing. And it was proudly sponsored by LJ Hooker Gaindar and Central Coast Subaru. My name is Nick. This was Gentlemen's Racing Club. We're out. We'll catch you next week, bright and early, just before 6:50, and the mystery car and track will be revealed then.
Great, thank you very much, guys. And if you stick around, you can watch me lose badly on Call of Duty for a little while. I am terrible, but that is some people enjoy watching it. I think there's about 3 people who stick around and watch that. So for those 3 people, thank you. For everyone who's been chatting on Twitch tonight, Facebook, who've been smashing, this is the most active the channel's been so far. I just want to say I really appreciate it. Everyone who's followed, and our first subscriber tonight as well. Thank you very much for that. I think it was Ben Kobe. Yeah, more Call of Duty bugs. So thank you very much, guys. It's much appreciated. I'm going to go for a quick break for a moment. I'll shut the stream down and it'll kick back off in probably about 5 or 10 minutes for some Call of Duty Warzone. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good one.
If you're ready, we'll maneuver. Reaching out.